just to make safe. And I will be recording this, and I'll try to load it onto YouTube so everyone can watch it. Ongoing matches. Copy link. Go here. And then I do have some of these Silver League matches. I still have to get around to actually uploading, but we will. That's something I'll be getting to eventually. So let's move over to the match. We've got a fun matchup. So we got Peon, Cyan, and Lyrics versus Back-to-Back, Grinchy Noob, and Boomstick to start things off for the two teams. Let me pause my music. And unfortunately, we won't be using my stream title. Is it wrong? What's wrong with my stream title? Is it not updated? Hopefully it's updated now. But we've got on Arabia, we have Peon playing the Ethiopians, Cyan playing the Franks, and Lyrics playing the Teutons, and then Back-to-Back playing the Magyars, Ethiopians, and Mongols. So Mongols going to be a very heavy hitter here. Magadai and Mongol Siege going to be very hard to deal with. Who was the tier 1 from Franks? Yeah, Franks are the tier 1 for Team uniK. So got to keep watching DM. I feel like I'm doing so good and you want to keep learning. Plus it's your team, so you got to watch it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get underway. Unfortunately, we won't be using cap trade, as it does not do well with greater than 2v2s, especially in DM. Lags a little bit from what I hear, so I won't be messing too much with it. But we'll be using the actual, yeah. So we'll be playing 7 games today. That'll be super fun. All right, just got to finish loading. All right, so Fog of War. With the gray, we have Peon playing the Ethiopians. In the green, we have Cyan playing the Franks. And in the blue, we have Lyrics playing the Teutons. Matched up against the orange player, Boomstick, pink player, Back-to-Back, playing the Magyars, and the Cyan player playing Grinchy. And right away, we already have oh god, I need to lock my screen. All right, there we go. The Cyan, a little bit of raids coming in from the Hussars, trying to pick off a villager. I really would love to be able to see if any villagers get sniped, because that is one of the best things about Capture Age. But it does not look like any villagers are going to get sniped. All players very skilled at the game will prevent any snipe. Oh, almost loses a villager there, but we see another scout coming in from Cyan. Misses out on the 1 HP villager and is not going to be able to pick off that villager. So no villager pickoffs quite yet happening. Maybe 1 or 2 got picked off. But mostly the villager counts look pretty even right now. In the meantime, you see the players starting to build up their economy. No major raids look like it's going forward. Looks like Peon is sending some camos forward just a little bit. Try to get a couple pickoffs. Might be able to find off a villager. We'll actually get a villager kill here. So 1 villager going down for Grinchy Noob. So a nice little pickoff by Peon. Might even pick off a 2nd villager, but the camels starting to mass up for Grinchy Noob. And in the meantime, no real raids happening on this side. We see Lyrics dealing with a little bit of raids himself, but with the Teutons, Halberdiers, and Siege being masked up, with the castle going up shortly, he should be totally fine without being pressured. But all the action is happening at Grinchy Noob's base right now. A lot of villagers down. Another villager going to get picked off here, as the Cav Archers have come forward for Back-to-Back to try to help out his ally. Peon in the meantime continuing the raid, and a lot of villagers down. We have Grinchy Noob down to 3 villagers, so he has been absolutely decimated from this. Back-to-Back will have to be here to help support Grinchy Noob's reboom, but he is going to be quite far behind. But the heavy Cav Archers coming in for the Magyar player, and Magyar's having one of the best heavy Cav Archers in the game. Extra recurve bore, extra range. Those guys are very dangerous, and very mobile. In Deathmatch, mobility is a huge importance. You can see that the civs that the uniK team has chosen are not as mobile. Like, yes, the Franks are very mobile, but Ethiopians and Teutons, those are some siege-heavy civilizations, and those are going to be very non-mobile, as opposed to the Magyars and Mongols. Both incredibly mobile civilizations. Ethiopians with their camels too can help out too. So the mobility of the uniK team is going to be hard. They're going to be the ones trying to force fights, whereas the TF clan will be able to try to run around and pick the fights that are best suited for them. Additionally, with the Mongols' power, they're going to be having extra power to be able to try to really push. And if the Mongol player Boomstick can really, I'm surprised Boomstick is not the pocket player. But the Mongols really start rolling, then it's going to be hard to stop the Mongol Death Ball. In the meantime, we see Peon coming forward, though, on this left side. Back is going for a direct hit. Oh, wow, yeah, going right in the back. A huge army I missed. Going for a massive hit on Cyan. Taking all their forces in there, going to be picking up a lot of units. The Paladins of Cyan are here to clean some of this up. And they're going to pick off a couple of villagers, and a lot of army will go down. That is a massive amount of forces to be inside your base at this time. We can see the villager counts of Cyan still at 18, so he has not struggled too much in this. He might have idled quite a bit. He's lost a few villagers who are building, but it's not too big of a problem, and that's going to get mostly cleaned up. So I don't know if that was necessarily too worth it. And losing a lot of cav archers is going to be a serious problem. You do not want to lose your cav archers. In the meantime, because Back was not able to be there to really support the push from Peon against Grinchy Noob, that means that Grinchy Noob was able to get some pushing back in, wipes out some more of those cav archers with a nice shot, and Grinchy Noob's still at only 6 villagers, and now the siege is out. Camel's coming in here, but a lot of pikes, shodels, and siege onagers will be, and from the Ethiopians, are going to be very hard to deal with. Camel's getting a nice engagement on the onagers, but I mean, they're going to get cleaned up pretty well as we see Cyan coming in with a nice cavalry rush, wiping out the siege of the Grinchy Noob, and this is going to be a very hard situation for Grinchy Noob to recover from. The cav from Back coming in here to try to clean up some of this calves, but the Ethiopian siege going to start pushing forward on this left side, start wiping out some of the base of Grinchy Noob as the calves start trading on the right side, and this is looking very bad for Grinchy Noob. His base is getting absolutely decimated. In the meantime, on the right side, you can see that Cyan is no longer supporting Peon's push, instead of swinging over to help out with Lyric's push as the Teutons slow Death Ball. And if the Mongols are forced to fight in place against the Teutons, they're going to have a hard time. The Teutons are very good at pushing slow and steady. Mongols need that mobility to be useful, and they're not, when they're fighting in a single spot, the mobility isn't there to be useful. So no matter how powerful the Mongols are, if they're fighting straight up one-on-one against Teutons, they're going to lose. So it looks like the push has stalled quite a bit for Peon. He's pushing over on this left side, and he's going to get into the trade. So he's preventing any trade from going up, and the castle's going up on this side from Peon. They're going to secure this left side as well. And the right side has already been set up for markets as well for Lyric. So 3 corners already controlled by Team uniK. uniK definitely in the driver's spot here. How many farms does Backy have? Backy in the back has a handful of farms. We can switch over to Backy's view. And he has 17 on food. So, in the meantime, we see, some camels getting picked off. But really, I think Peon is just happy to, at this point, force the issue to go into a trade war. And because Team TF does not have any trade set up, they'll have to do short trade if they want to. It's going to be a hard situation. But we have a nice ball of Magar units over here helping the Mongols push back against Lyrics. And Lyrics is going to be forced back a little bit. Unfortunately, Teutons player, as good as they are, dealing one-on-one fights in one single spot with the second player coming in to support. It's going to be very hard for him to actually maintain this push. So they're falling back, and it looks like Cyan will have to send some units over here to help clean up. But it looks like the TF is going to regroup back and fall back a little bit. As in the meantime, we see Peon slowly continuing to push onto the base of Grinchy Noob. Oh my god, what a bad boom. That was a 1 for 5, and could even land a 1 for 3. That was 2 for 7. 2 for 8, actually. That is a huge trade for Peon. And the Shodel's going to come in here and wipe out all those siege. And Shodel's will trade very well against these Halberdiers. And that's going to be a lot of... the siege onagers were really what was keeping him alive in that moment. So now, Peon having free reign to go raid the base of Grinchy Noob and really do some heavy damage here. But the fight on this side is going to be a little bit of a tough one for the uniK team to break. They're going to try to get in on these siege onagers. Some Paladins from Cyan are going to get on here and try to wipe out some of these siege onagers. Nice shot from the onagers of Lyric. It's going to land there, but they are going to be pushed back. Wiped out most of those onagers, which, Mongol onagers, very difficult to deal with. Getting a nice 1 for 2 there. And we see more units coming in from Backy. Backy going to come in here and try to really put a dagger to the push of Lyrics. And this should push him back to his base. Has a couple trebuchets waiting, and Lyrics needs to repop his army, needs to reboom and regather. So he's a little lacking on his military right now. You can see that he has only 22 military right now. So really, he has 133 villagers, so he's going to be fine. But I mean, this is a lot of raiding units coming in from Boomstick and Backy. So unfortunately, this could get into the trade. There's not too many defensive castles, and if they just run past this, they're going to get into the trade. And that's going to be a lot of dead trade cards, and that's exactly where he's going for. Backy going to go and wipe out a lot of trade, a lot of villagers. This is going to be a very heavy-duty raid. Yeah, just walking right in here. Unfortunately, they're going to be a little stuck behind the trees, not getting near the trade carts. So luckily the trade is as far back as possible. And those... Okay, now he's going to fix that up. In the meantime, you see some TCs and some trades going up. But, yeah, like, even though the trade's being affected, it's not too big of a deal. We're going to see some Paladins come in from Cyan, going to try to clean this up. And they're all on... Oh, no, they're on stand ground. They're not attacking. No, backy back. What a mistake. What a throw. They killed nothing. They weren't on aggressive stance. Oh, no. Oh, just threw away all those units. Could have wiped out so much trade. And they're still just doing nothing. Oh, no. That's a huge loss. Huge gain for uniK. We see more French Paladins coming in here to try to support. Some Siege Onagers from the Teuton player are going to land onto those Trebs. But those Trebs are now exposed. Trebs from... yeah, just going to snipe those Trebs. And the Paladins are going to come in here and snipe some more Siege. And this is pretty much... They do not... uniK does not need to worry about winning this right side. They just need to stall this right side to protect the trade, and they're winning the left side. So we see some Magyar Hussars and some Paladins coming in from back-to-back trying to wipe out some of this Ethiopian siege. They're going to wipe out a lot of the siege. So Peon's push a little bit stalled out. Villager doing an outpost wall. I have never seen an outpost wall. Is this some newfangled DM tech that we've never seen? The vision will be immense. But all those units are going to get picked off, and that castle needs to go up. But they're going to wipe out these outposts. Outposts not having a lot of HP. And yeah, Peon going to send some more halberdiers over here. And they're going to wipe out a lot of these Magyar Hussars. But I think that castle should go up. It'll be tough. But this push has stalled. But most importantly, I mean, there's no trade going on. They have some trade on this. They have short trade going on for TF. But I mean, it's nothing compared to the trade that uniK has. I need to go offline on Steam. I'll do that after this game. And so now we see more Frank Paladins trying to push on this right side. So it looks like the uniK has decided to focus a little bit more on this right side just to prevent their trade from going down. Peon's still pushing a little bit on this side, not really supporting anyway in the right side, which is, you know, totally fine to do. And this castle has gone down. It will be taken down by the Siege Onagers. Probably should have bleeded to save some of that gold, but for the most part, it is fine. And we see some Ethiopian siege rams coming forward, and they're going to wipe out a lot of these buildings, but the Onagers from Green are going to try to hear a nice attack ground, taking out some of these Shodels. Does sacrifice one of his own Onagers to clean it up, but I mean, at this point, I think Peon's happy to just trade here and there for them, knowing that they have the full trade going. He does not have any trade going, actually. Peon does not have any trade, probably wants to get some trade set up himself. So he has all the gold he needs, but he has access to a couple neutral gold tiles, and he's going to be living vitally off of that. In the meantime, you know, army's still wiping out here. We have a nice mass of Mangudai going up, which is going to be a hard thing to deal with if the gold units start trading out and we start seeing a little bit more trash wars. But the Mangudai are going to come forward. They're going to walk into this castle range if they're not careful, and that's going to be dangerous. They're going to try to snipe this bomber cannon, but they think better of that. It's probably safer to keep those Mangudai alive than try to snipe a single bomber cannon. So the castle does go up, but the bomber cannon is going to try to snipe some of that HP off that castle, but the Mangudai are going to come in here and just one-shot that bomber cannon and run back, and, you know, Mangudai, now the mobility starts coming into a little bit of a play. We even had the Mongol Rams sneaking in here and trying to take out some buildings, but the Teuton Knight, probably slower than that Siege Ram, but, oh man, nice Mangudai, or Mongol Onagers shots, wipe out a couple Siege Onagers, wipe out some units. In the meantime, we see that back-to-back has switched over, focused back on to supporting Grinchinoob, and Peon, as great as he is playing, cannot deal with his 2v1 as much, especially because he does not have any trade. Okay, now he has some trade going. He's finally gotten to mark it up and getting some trade. So he'll have that gold income. But Shodels continue to trade against these units. Not the best trades. Another castle has been denied. But yeah, a lot of action coming in over here. Mongol players starting to really... Boomstick really starting to push into the base of Lyrics. So even though the Mangudai are being able to start a step and pick off units before they can get underneath, the forward castle going up and the second forward castle up, that's going to provide a very nice staging point for Boomstick to really push into the Teuton place. Onager can't really get in and try to snipe those villagers. But this castle will go down with the Trebs and the Onagers and a couple castle fires. So that's a lot of castles. And this is going to be a very nice war front right here between multiple castles and some Treb wars coming in. But no Trebs right out here for the unique players. Probably want to get some Trebs in to try to... Oh, big shot. Big Onager shot. No reaction. And wipes out a lot of Mangudai HP and quite a few Mangudai. So that was a huge Onager shot. Definitely something needed. And that's going to weaken that mass of Mangudai significantly. In the meantime, we can go check out the Peon push. Peon pushing with a massive amount of siege rams, but nothing to back them up. So a couple Magyar Hussars and some siege onagers are going to be able to clean these guys up. I don't like this push. You need these halberdiers to go in there. If those halberdiers were there, this would be a significantly much better push. But those siege rams, that's a lot of gold being lost just for free. The onagers going to start, or this Treb's going to start pressuring onto the castle, and Peon going to start trying to counter Treb. But I mean, his Trebs are super exposed against the high mobility of back-to-back's units. So saving a couple onagers or siege rams over here as the halberdiers start trying to chase it off. But I mean, this is gonna be, he's just, when he tries to go save those siege rams, the Trebs are now exposed, and they're gonna pick off 2 Trebs, and that's a very expensive loss. Meantime, they are gonna stand underneath this castle, so the castle will be able to pick up a few units. And in the meantime, the rams, now that the units of back-to-back have been pulled out of position, they are gonna try to get in here and take out a couple of these buildings. But I mean, again, there's nothing here to support this. Some Shodels are going to come in here and try to get some raid going. They're going to pick off 1 barracks, but I mean, for the most part, they're not too worried about this. They're going to lose a market, but the Shodel's going to come in here and try to pick off some trades. Though no castle over here to defend against the trade, so those Shodels are going to be able to run rampant for a while until someone goes and cleans it up. In the meantime, this push is starting to be a little bit of an annoyance, but they're pushed back into behind their castles. So I think Boomstick is happy to just fight behind the castles, but I mean, they're making no progress here, and they are on a ticking timer, as Peon's push on this left side is going to be very deadly. Frank Paladin's going to get in here and get some really nice trades against the Ferrari Rams of Boomstick, wipe out a couple of those. But the Mangudai are going to be here and start cleaning some stuff up. You see a lot of units in protecting these Trebs. And yeah, the Mangudai are going to come in here, and I mean, you can protect those Trebs all you want, but Mangudai can just dive underneath and snipe that Treb. Villager probably should go and try to repair that, but this castle will be going down. 2 knights trying to get picked off here and there. But in the meantime, the ramp train is continuing to go on. The Shodels have been mostly cleaned up. No, the Shodels have gone over here, and they're going to take out a TC. I don't know why they're trying to help take out the TC when you should be taking out the trade. But I mean, that's going to be, that goes down, and those Shodels are just standing by doing nothing. Come on, Shodels. You have a juice. There you go. Finally gets pulled into by the trade card. Nope. Nope, they're on defensive stance. Shodels are taking a break. Yeah, it's hard work taking down TCs. So good cleanup from Grinchinu, cleaning up with a bunch of halberdiers, so protecting this base quite a bit. And now the castles are up, some Trebs are out as well. And we can take a focus on, as a little bit of stalled action over there, we can take a look on the right flank. We can see that the push, 1 castle has gone down for the Mongol players. Boomstick has lost a castle. Rams continue to try to press forward, but there's so many Teuton Knights, Teuton Paladins, here that they will push back those Ferrari Rams, but they're going to run right into the mass of Mangudai. But that's a lot less Mangudai than there were before, so the Mangudai number is not the best for Boomstick. Some good onager shots. That was like a 1 for 4. Frank Paladin's going to chase these guys away, but the Treb's starting to come out. A couple Trebs still inactive for Lyrics. But this castle should go down shortly. No villagers out to repair it. But the Trebs are going to get sniped, and they're going to force back, and that's another castle down. So we see Lyrics slowly winning this fight on the right side. Paladin's going to pick off these reinforcements. That's the problem with having forward siege workshops, is that if you lose a little bit of ground, any siege that comes out will not be able to safely reconvene to their designated rendezvous. And they're going to get picked off. So that's 3 castles down for the Mongol player. That's a loss of Mangudai production up front. And I mean, they're continuously being forced back. Granted, with Magyar Hussars providing a nice meat shield here, Lyrics will not be able to continue this push in to wipe out those Mangudai, but he's going to be able to push out all these buildings. That's going to secure this right side for a while and allow Cyan maybe to send some units over to go help this push on this left side as Peon continues to dive into Grinchy Noob's base. Those Shodels picking off a unit and then running back. So, you know, Shodels not exerting too much energy. I really don't know what their plan is. They realize they can't keep up with the trade carts and give up. They're trying. They try their best. But we see a nice push in coming in from Backpack. Backpack's resigned? Oh, wow. TF taps out. So game 1 goes to uniK. Well done by uniK, winning game 1 off the back of a massive push from Peon, getting a huge step up early on against Grinchy Noob, and then Lyrics holding off against a massive push on the right side and slowly winning that. Really, you can see the oh, I need water. You can see the massive gain from trade. We'll take a look at the statistics real quick. Yeah, Peon didn't let up no matter how many rams it took. Exactly. You can just see the gold collected is so massively in favor. Grinchy Noob never had the gold to really boom. Trade profit just massively in favor. That's what, 25k extra, 23k extra gold. You can't beat that, no matter how gold efficient you are. So well done by Team uniK. And that was a hell of a game. So, go to intermission. And now let me update a few things. So left score, you want right score is a win. Scoreboard, uniK has 1. All right. But yeah, what a game. What a match. An exciting game 1. Let me pull up. All right, there's the lobby. For game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Lombardia. So very close teams. You do not have secure corners at the start. So gaining the corner control will be a very difficult situation. And that is why I know Brislin likes Lombardia because the corners are not guaranteed at the start of the game. Let me copy this, see when that match is. But yeah, so the next game should see some different players swapped in and out. We have plenty of players from both sides who have yet to play. We have Yeti, Maldhar, and Greek who haven't played for team or the family quite yet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if they just go 3 and then 3, and then they mix it up after that. So I'm expecting those 3 from uniK. You know, with 8 players coming into the show match, they have plenty of options for who's going to be playing next. I am seeing Brislin and Lakes in the lobby right now, but I'm not too sure if the lobby's actually starting or not. It's going to be interesting to see because it's... I don't know, there's other people. It's just not showing. Okay. The lobby just wasn't showing the players. So let's switch over to the game. If it's starting, we'll see. It might be bugged. Yeah, this does not look like it's working. Okay, let me try again. Let's try this again. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Alright, looks like it's having a little bit of difficulty loading up. So in the meantime, we're just waiting. So Lombardia, of course, going to be a interesting match. We can go and take a quick look at the civs again. They didn't start yet? Okay. Good game, by the way, Cyan. That was a really nice job as pocket, and really reinforcing each push on each side, making sure that the right side wasn't lost, and then Peon was able to continue to push on the left side and gain control of that corner. Really well done. Yeah, so the start isn't quite there yet. It was a cool game. It was intense. Yeah. Really, Peon just decimating Grinchy Noob right at the start was insane. Yeah, I'm surprised Peon took a while to set up trade, but he decimated Grinchy Noob, and you guys just won off the back of that. Pretty much, it meant that once Peon had that huge advantage on the early game, the right side of the base, like the right side fight between Lyrics and Boomstick, Lyrics just had to hold on and prevent the trade from going down. If you could just hold on, you won off the back of trade and Peon pushing into, pushing hard into Grinchy Noob, and it was really well done. I'm honestly surprised. Who was the other one? Who was in the middle? Back didn't help push back on Peon more. Because if I think they should have thrown everything into trying to take out Peon from that left corner. So let's try and rejoin the lobby and see if it's started yet. Doesn't look like they're quite starting yet, but should be getting there pretty soon. Looks like it's going to be Brislin, Lakes, and Peon. So Peon getting double duty. Going to be playing a second game, and then it's going to be Maldhar, Greek, and a third player, which I assume is going to be Deadly Yeti. So this should be interesting. I'm excited to see this. But yeah, game 2 Lombardia. I actually don't think I've ever seen a deathmatch game on Lombardia, so I don't know what quite nuance there's going to be beyond the fact that, of course, not having control of the corners at the start of the game means that you're fighting over the corners. So we should be seeing a lot more mobility as all the players are a lot closer together, and the initial fighting avenues aren't quite set up as they are in Arabia. Arabia, it's usually very clear as to there's going to be a fight on the right side, there's a fight on the left side, and it goes from there. So yeah, we're just waiting to see. Games should be starting soon. I think they're still fixing up a few things. Still waiting for the game to actually start. But, so we can talk about the... Hey, let me pull up the thing again. And we'll see if... Okay, there we go. Looks like it should be loaded up now. Switch over here. Actually, hold on a second. So we have a minute for that to start. I am going to do some... I need to switch on offline for... or not offline. I need to go to friends and chat. I need to go to Do Not Disturb. Actually, I've never gone to Do Not Disturb. I don't know how to do this. Chat. Notifications. Here we go. Never... Alright, you know what, that's good enough. Good enough, whatever. Yeah, alright, so. We have game 2 on Lombardia. uniK showing up is Bristlin Lakes and Peon playing the Saracens, Turks, and Bulgarians. And then for Team TF, Maldhar playing the Italians, Greek playing the Persians, and Deadly Yeti playing the Koreans. So choosing the Koreans early is surprising, as we will be having a water map later. Game 7 is going to be Team Islands. So anybody playing those water maps early will be interesting. We're going to try to restart this. Hold on a sec. Maybe this time it works. There we go. All right. Team Lombardia. Turks, Bulgarians, Saracens versus Italians, Persians, Koreans. Match 2 between TF and uniK. uniK has taken game 1 on Arabia through the back-breaking play of Peon, getting that early raid on against Grinchy Noob. But we'll be seeing how this goes game 2 on Team Lombardia. So, in the red, we have the Cabbage Queen herself, Bristlin. In the pink, we have Peon. And in the yellow in the middle is Lakes. On the opposite side for Team TF is Maldhar. We have Greek playing the Persians. And then in the gray, we have Yeti playing the Koreans. Maldhar playing the Italians, which is an interesting choice. But Peon playing the Saracens. Lakes playing the Bulgarians. And Bristlin playing the Turks. So right off the start, the bases are relatively farther away, so you do have time to get a barracks up before the raid, before the Hussars come in. But because all the bases are so close, all the Hussars will kind of show up in the same spot, so you can double up on a raid, as we are seeing Team uniK do right now. Bristlin and Lake's going to get a villager pick off. So one villager already picked off from Deadly Yeti. So Yeti already going down a villager, which is a huge loss early on, especially for a map where you get the Halberdiers out right before the Hussars really get in and raid. Bristlin sending in one Camelin just to check out to see what's happening, but for the most part, this is going to be a pretty safe setup. Both teams are going to be having some time to really set up what they want to do, and we actually see Halberdiers kind of streaming forward a little bit already from the Italian player. We actually see Condotieros coming in as well as the Camels start coming in for a little bit of a raid, but for the most part, you're just going to see both teams mass up, and then they will be going in to try and push. You already see some markers being placed down by Bristlin, getting that trade up nice and early. Some TCs in the back, and a Krepos to help protect the trade. This is going to be an awkward situation just because there's a lot of trees on those back lines, meaning the trade will have to go around them. As you can see, Bristlin has actually accounted for that and put those trade markets there. Thank you for the follow, Otter. Hope everything's going well, buddy. And I'm excited to see how good you've gotten at DM after crushing me in Rising Stars 1, or Rising Stars 3. Yeah, okay, outpost walls. We saw Peon do this last game. Outpost walls are the new thing. I've never seen outpost walls, but instead of stone walling or palisade walling, it's outposts. I mean, maybe they have more HP or something, but went quite well from there on. That's true, yeah. All right, so Greek is gonna start fighting around the middle, has a bunch of camels and halberdiers, so nice anti-cav units. But we see the, oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. Elite Conics coming out. They're going to get sniped by these camels and then stand up and get sniped by the camels again. As Lake starts kind of posturing. And yeah, so both teams just really trying to poke at each other, try to see what's happening, get vision on the map, and try to set up trade where they need to. You see some cav archers kind of poking around, trying to pick off villagers, going to build those markets. You can actually see a couple camels over here in the back for Peon trying. I really need to turn Bloom off. I forgot about that. That is very bright. But we have our first kind of big fight as Greed starts coming forward with some camels. Gonna pick off one villager, pick off the second villager as well. So Grizzly getting a little bit of hit by these camels and these pikes. The pikes are getting cleaned up by Lakes, and that is going to allow him to send those halberdiers back and clean up these camels as Grizzly gets for her favorite unit in the game, these heavy cav archers set up. And so the Turk heavy cav archers, of course, are very strong. And they're going to have some nice siege here as well. I did not mute my things, but they're blocked by chat, so that's not the worst. In the meantime, yeah, we see the trade already getting set up by Peon and Lakes on the right side. So we're going to be able to start seeing some trade coming in for the Team uniK earlier than the trade coming in from Team TF. So you can see that uniK really does prioritize getting that trade set up early. But this is a big mass coming forward, and Persian elephants, elite war elephants coming in. Those guys are going to be very chonky boys. That is 620 HP, 24 attack, and decent armor. But those guys are going to be very chonky, and they're going to be able to form a nice bulwark of a push, and they are going to be very difficult. Hey, what's up, Daisy? And yeah, so this is gonna be a tough one. And then on the right side, we see a little bit of raid coming in from Lakes, running into a castle. So not too much accomplished here. Mechanic's gonna try to clean up a couple of these trash units, just kind of see what's happening. But a nice castle on this hill. But we see the big force massing up here. We have Genoese crossbows, we have Persians, and we have now with a fight for the middle hill. This middle hill gonna be very important for both teams. Whoever can gain control of this middle hill will have the better part of the map control. The Genoese crossbowmen going to be starting to mass up, and they're going to wipe out a lot of these archers, or these conics. But the elite elephants going to come in here, and they're going to meet shield against these heavy cav archers. Cav archers have to be microed away by Brizzle, and Brizzle is going to send them away. You can see a big force from Lakes coming in as the conics come in, and they're going to try to trade with these elephants and these Genoese crossbows. But with all this siege and all these crossbows, they're not going to get much done. They're not going to accomplish too much, and that's going to be a massive amount of army wiped out from Lakes as the elephant chonky boys start walking forward. But a lot of camels are here, and camels going to do very well to clean up some of these elephants. With some cav archers and Crepos support coming in as well. We see siege coming in from Peon on the bottom side. So nice flank coming in from Peon as he sends a bunch of siege onagers coming forward. Those guys are going to be able to melt any units that come near them. But halberdiers coming in from the left side from Balthar are going to try to pick off a lot of these siege onagers. With the Lakes need to come in here. And nice landing shot from Peon, landing on a bunch of those halberdiers. So the siege onagers will be safe, fight another day. A lot of elephants have gone down. They're going to be chased away by the siege and the camels and Mamelukes of Peon, and they're going to be forced back. But that's a lot of heavy scorpions, a lot of heavy onagers, and they're going to continue to fight in this middle. It's going to be one drawn-out, massive fight in the middle. But it looks like I would love to have Cav Trade just be able to see the overall HP of all these units. But some good trades coming in from the Korean siege onagers with the extra range, 10 range versus only the 9 range of the Saracen onagers. So they're not going to be able to get some good shots, and do get a nice 1-for-2 there. But this castle has not gone up yet. So, the fight continues. Elephant's starting to swing a little bit over to the left as Brazil sends her siege rams in to try to drop some archer fire. But the elephant's going to be picked away as these heavy cav archers continue to fire onto the elephants. Those elephants are slowly dwindling in health. As Lakes comes down here with more conics massed up, going to push back these units of Deadly Yeti. Elephant's going to run away as the cav archers and camels give chase, and those elephants are all going to die. That's going to force half the units away from the uniK's team. And in the meantime, looks like the TF is going to fall back and regroup. We have a little bit of trade going on for them. Would love to see an onager come down here and just cut open a little path right now. But yeah, trade is already established for Team uniK. uniK, of course, getting the trade going right away. Elephant's going to come in here and try to do a very nice slow push into the trade, just trying to see what's happening. But the cav archers will track them down with the castle support as well. In the fight in the middle, more elephant chonky boys coming in here, and they're going to try to get onto these onagers. The onagers landing a nice group of shots onto these elephants. Onagers are going to get onto these siege onagers, though. Those elephants will be able to wipe out a few of those guys, but the Mamelukes, or the elite conics, should come in here and clean this up pretty nicely as well. And we see Genoese crossbowmen going forward, not patrolling forward, so they're just walking right into a bunch of camels, getting a lot of shots. They're going to go after the cav archers of Bristlin. Hussar's going to come in here and push them back, but the elephants have to swing around and start pushing in. Right now, so the problem with the composition of Team TF is that it's a very slow composition. Siege and elephants and crossbowmen. That is not a speedy composition. We see actually Malhar coming over here and try to force a fight over here. But this is where the high mobility of the other of Team uniK could really pay off if they start doing some raids. You already see some Hussars coming in here and trying to pick off some reinforcements. We see some Cav Archers going in for a raid, knowing that they need to pick off. Going to find these villagers here. We'll see if Brislin notices. Yep, notices, picks off those 2 villagers before getting that nice outpost, the Korean tower up. So, but unfortunately, Brislin losing some Cav Archers, some Siege Hunters. That's a massive army in the front. So even though some raids will be coming in for Team uniK, they are going to be pushed back in the middle as a massive squad of elephants and crossbowmen and just non-stop Korean Siege Hunters are coming in. So this is going to be very dangerous to deal with. Some Korean War Wagons as well would be very good at dealing with some of the archer-based composition of Brislin. But right now, not much to be able to deal with these archers. Konnick's going to get picked off by these Korean Siege Hunters. Going to be doing some nice attack rounds, but they do get into the army of Deadly Eddie, and those guys are going to cause chaos. The Onagers are going to do some friendly fire, and losing a lot of Onagers there. It's a very expensive unit to lose. We see some raids still going in. The Cav Archers standing underneath some castle fire, but they're picking up a bunch of villagers and picking out some trade cards. So not the worst raid. We see some more raids coming in from Peon. So very well aware that they need to get some raids in, and the mobility of the team TF is not there to do the same. So they won't be able to get any raids in as the fight is entirely in the middle. Though TF is winning the fight in the middle, and if they start pushing into the base from the middle, this is going to be a serious issue. Oh, that's a big shot. Brislin losing some of her Cav Archers. I mean, they're taking a very bad fight against Genoese crossbows, elephants, and Siege Hunters. So a lot of units going down. So Brislin not paying too much attention here and loses all of her Cav Archers, which is not what you can afford to be doing. Camel's going to be pulled back as some Siege Rams are here to try to protect against or draw fire from the Genoese crossbows. The Konnick's, of course, getting in everyone's business, and they're going to be causing a lot of friendly fire from those Korean Siege Hunters. Konnick's doing a little bit of extra damage as well. So but we see Peon's Siege Hunters coming in as well. Going to come in here and try to pick out some of these elephants, but the elephants so chalky, you're going to be able to get into this range of Siege Hunters, and they're going to be able to pick off a bunch of them. In the meantime, the trade fully established for Team uniK, and not as much trade for the TF clan, but they will be getting there. I mean, they are winning the fight in the middle, so that's kind of a big thing. And no raids going on for uniK right away. So really the fight in the middle is all that matters right now, and if TF continues to push, I mean, forcing a fight in the middle, TF's composition is going to win the fight in the middle. There's no way around it. Team uniK needs to get some raids in and try to force the slow-moving army of TF to fall back and reinforce their base. So, losing a lot of camels to a nice push, but we'll be able to take out all but 1 Siege Hunter, which will help clean up a lot of these units and allow the units of Team uniK to be able to get in range and actually fight the enemy. We see some defensive Korean keeps. Those Korean keeps with 13 range are going to be very hard to push into, so you can see them just non-stop going in and going to be able to build a sort of a keep wall, if you will, and that wall will keep you away. Aha. That's a Brislin joke for you. And yeah, this castle's going to start being pressured. We see Malhar starting to split off from the massive force over here, and he's going to start trying to push into Peon's army, as Peon is going to be trying to support with their own Siege Hunters. They are not going to be able to reinforce the push on this left side, so the fight's going to be spread out into 2 locations. And Genoese crossbowmen are going to be very good, but need to be microed against the Siege Hunters of the Saracens player. Nice split micro from Malhar. Malhar going to be able to pick up that Siege Hunter without losing too much. And that castle will go down as the push from Malhar going to continue to go in here, and the army of Peon not really there and not massed up to be able to help out. With Condotieros coming in here as well to snipe the siege, you're going to be able to pick off some of these Genoese crossbow. With 2 Siege Hunters go down for only 5 Genoese crossbowmen, it's not a trade you want to be doing. Elephants continue to swing over here as the Halberdiers as well, providing even a meat shield for the meaty boys. And the War Wagons as well from Deadly Yeti, and I mean, this is going to be tough for anyone to push into with this much chonky boys. We actually see some Onager cutting through here, wiping out some of the wood that could be useful late game. And these Onagers going to be pushing in and trying to take out. We see Brislin's patented university wall, providing a lot of HP, preventing any raids on that side. But the castle has gone up forward, and that means that this right side of the base of Peon is going to start getting pushed into. And the map control definitely in favor of Team TF. No raids coming in against, actually, I take it back. There are a lot of Konniks raiding the economy and raiding the trade line. So very good raids coming in from Lakes, using that mobility of the Konniks and just the high damage with the extra foot soldiers coming in, forcing a lot of Genoese crossbowmen to come back and clean this raid up. That's going to be a lot of units dead. And yeah, I mean, that you need to continue to do those Konnik raids if you want any chance of pushing back. In the meantime, the elephant's mass has gone down, but has fallen back forward creek. And the push on this side still continuing to go forward. We see Rams and Trebs continue going forward. With now Bombard Cannons coming forward. Those Bombard Cannons going to trade against some of these Onagers. Onagers going to be able to take out 2 of these Bombard Cannons. Some good Onager micro gets and takes out. So 2 Onagers taking out 4 of the 5 Bombard Cannons. It's definitely worth it. Cleans up those Onagers, those Bombard Cannons. Slows down that push quite a lot. We see a Caps coming in from the lakes. And yeah, trying to secure that side for Peon. But continuing to see some pushing in here. And those Conics can do a nice dash into the Onagers of Deadly Yeti. Deadly Yeti going to lose a lot of Onagers here as Conics start running in here. Nice attack rounds, wiping out a lot of those Conics. The Halberdier is going to provide some nice body blocking. And that's going to be most of those Onagers dead. So that was about, 10 to 11 Onagers dead for a ball of Conics. Definitely worth it. Cav Archers from Bristlin have masked up. They can't really push into towers. Some Trebs are out trying to take out these towers here and there. But in the meantime, that's going to stall any push. We see the Rams coming in. That's a massive amount of Rams. But I mean, with 1 Onager there, Bristlin needs to sacrifice some Cav Archers to go take that Onager out. Alright, so now these Rams can have free range to try to clean up all these towers. But the Elephant's going to come over here and try to swing it over here. But the mass Onagers of Peon and Lakes are going to be here to try to clean up these Elephants and try to get a lot of damage on them before they get into the Cav Archers of Bristlin. They're going to be forced back. So that's going to be a nice cleanup on this left side as Rams come forward and try to take out a lot of that base. Oh, that's my G-chat over there. Okay. I was hearing a weird sound, and that's just my G-chat on my work computer popping off. I should have locked that screen. But in the meantime, the push from Peon trying to reclaim this hill is going to fail as the Treb does get sniped. But he's starting to mass up some units. The push from Malar on this right side has stalled out quite a bit. So uniK having a nice breather. Bristlin needs to make sure not to lose too many more units. And I think with that many War Wagons and Elephants, she is going to have to turn away. The Ram's going to continue their suicidal march forward, try to take off 1 or 2 more towers. But I mean, the Elephants are going to just clean these guys up. And I think you should just pull them back instead of losing them all. So Brislin's going to lose them all and pulls her Cav Archers back because he cannot afford to lose any more Cav Archers than you already have. Cav Archers not matching up very well against the War Wagons. So. See some nice shots, but the Elephants so chonky, not going to be able to clean up by just having Cav Archers fire onto them. Hussars from Bristlin coming in here to raid and clean up some of these Elephants. Providing a nice meat shield. Some villagers just chopping wood, just ignoring the fight going on. And they're going to clean this up eventually, but that's going to be a massive loss to Bristlin as the Elephants do get onto the Cav Archer range. With the War Wagons coming in here, be able to trade efficiently with those Cav Archers. It's going to be a nice issue. But looks like actually the trade has been absolutely decimated from Peon. Peon making a massive push on this red side, cleaning up all those markets. We missed out entirely. But the trade has been absolutely thoroughly debunked by Peon. So wiping out all that trade, all this trade will stall out for Team TF. And they're going to have to rebuild their trade, but Peon's going to cause a lot of problems. These Mamelukes causing so many issues here. In the meantime, the Genoese crossbowmen going to get some good trades onto Bristlin's Cav Archers. At this point, Bristlin needs to hold this push on this left side. And we see some Elephants massed up. But, I mean, without trade, those Elephants can't keep being produced. So Peon playing amazingly today. Trying to get a castle up with some towers, trying to protect their trade. And those Mamelukes going to come in here and spot what's happening. You should be able to pick off some of these villagers. They're going to pick out these villagers, and they're going to stop a lot of this trade from going up. We'll have to run away, or, they're just going to go and try to clean up these villagers. They're going to just get some kills here, and they're going to get cleaned up. But, I mean, they've stalled the trade so much that this is going to allow uniK to get a very nice breathing amount of time for some breathing room. And they're going to be able to gain some gold advantage here just because their trade has been running this entire time. Fully populated trade. And, there's been little to no raids from the TF team. So, Conics coming in here, and they're going to start cleaning up some of these units. And this means that the Siege Onagers can come in here, and they could actually just take out this castle. Conics going to try to fight this castle one-on-one. That's not going to go too well. But what a game we've been having so far. We see switching to gunpowder, some Janissaries from Bristlin. So trying to clean up some of these Genoese crossbows, maybe some of these Halberdiers. I'm not the biggest fan of these crossbows. I think the Cav Archers are still the better units. But interesting choice. The castles have gone up, so it helped protect this push. But this is a big push coming in. War Wagons, Siege, and Elephants. Bristlin is not going to be able to hold this anywhere near close to what she needs to by herself. Condotiero's trying to run through that trade. They're going to get cleaned up by the defensive units. And some Treb Micro taking out some of these War Wagons. But, I mean, Grizzly needs some help here as the massive push on this left side is going to be very hard to deal with. Looks like a push on the right side as well from Malthar, sending in Condotieros. Going to clean up some of these Trebs that are trying to take on this castle on the hill from Malthar, trying to prevent any more push from Malthar. If Malthar loses castle, that means the right side of the forward right side is not going to be there anymore for Team TF, meaning they'll have to be pushing from their base. And we see a lot of villagers coming over here. That is a lot of villagers being right-clicked over to this castle. I think that might have been a misclick. So re-losing a lot of her units here. But we see a forward castle coming out from Greek, trying to establish control and establish a nice push point. And, I mean, this is a massive push. Only now are the units of Peon coming to support. We need to see more units and Conics coming in as well. But, I mean, what a nicely constructed attack from Peon, or from Team TF. As Peon tries to get in there with some Mamelukes. But the War Wagons and the Onagers, Green Onagers, are so good at dealing with all the units of all the units of Team TF and this, or of Team uniK. And uniK going to be falling back to their trade. A lot of Crepos and castles here to support, though. So that is going to be nice, but I mean, Brisland losing a lot of villagers. Brisland down to only 68 villagers, and most of that is trade. And so, has 20k wood floating, but losing castles left and right. Army not there. Yeah, I mean, landing some nice shots here, but Brisland definitely on the back foot there. Looks like they're going to stop the push. I mean, yes, but at what cost? Now, Greek is going to get this castle up, hopefully. And if he gets that castle up, one, they gain control of this neutral stone. Two, they're going to have a nice pushing point for... Oh, those Conics need to get into those villagers. They could have stopped that castle, but they did not. Conics are going to get in there. And castle is doubted. No way that castle gets doubted. And I can't tell the percent, but very high percent doubt castle. If that castle goes up, that's a really nice staging point, and the siege won't be able to push into it. Yeah, the price, a lot of siege onagers from lakes. Yeah, I mean, the Korean siege onagers are pretty much the only thing. We actually see a nice little raid coming in, but the siege workshop wall is up, and that'll prevent the raids from coming in. The push is still going on here, and that's a lot of Condotieros in the base of Peon. So causing some problems over here. That castle still has not gone down. Really would love to see some workshops coming up, probably to see some bombard cannons come out and try to take out this castle, but Treb's coming in from both sides. In the meantime, the push is still coming in here. Yeah, the push has started with Grizzled switching into camels and hussars, trying to clean up these units. But the castle does go up finally on a hill. That's going to be a very nice staging point. And, I mean, there's not a lot of space for Grizzled to get her economy rolling. She does not have a lot of economy. Ram's going to start pushing forward, take out farms, taking out buildings, take out these university walls. Yeah, I mean, War Wagon's going to cause some problems from any army that tries to push into this. Looks like this castle is going to go down, though. No, the castle stays up. The Condotieros continue to raid and pick off Trebs here and there. So Treb's now pushing onto the forward siege wall of Peon. Going to take out this castle as well. And the Ram coming in here and against only Genoese crossbows and castle fire. That Ram is going to be able to take out one Treb, maybe a second Treb as well. And we see some camels coming in trying to clean up some of these Genoese crossbows. But that's going to be a nice stall on that push. In the meantime, we see Brisland massing up on her units. Going to push back here, try to clean up a lot of these units. We see some onagers coming in from Peon, taking out a lot of these units. And yeah, there's going to be... We see one Treb already coming out trying to take out this castle, but that castle is going to take a while to go down, especially with, I mean, with the lack of mobility from Team TF, they might not be able to snipe this Treb anytime soon. One Ram is going to come in here, and that Ram is going to make a beeline towards that Treb, and I think he's going to get it. So unfortunately, that one Treb trying to take out this castle is not going to live to see its work completed. That castle has gone down, so this means that the right side of the base is now exposed. Peon can now kind of breathe a little bit of sigh of relief as he is able to take engagements on this hill. These Genoese crossbowmen are going to be taken out. A lot of these units are going to be cleaned up as well. So nice pushback from Peon, stabilizing on this right side, allowing them to have a sigh of relief as this left side can now be focused a little bit more on. Brisland cleaning up a lot of his army with the support of Peon on this left side as well. Massing up their army, so they should be pretty nice here, but they need to figure out how to deal with this castle. Some Conics are going to come in here and clean this up, but villagers repairing that castle, a little bit of teamwork there as Deadly Yeti repairs that castle for Greek, and it's going to allow that castle to stay alive and establish a nice push point. As we see more and more units start massing up underneath this castle and start getting ready to push into the left side, if they can force this left side to collapse and wipe out a lot of this trade, they're going to be able to win the game. Whew! There's a lot of action on this game. both of these games have been absolutely insane to watch. We see some good raids from Malhar pushing into the forward economy. Now we start seeing wood being a little bit of an issue. We have some nice wooden patches in the back being protected and being reserved for later. We actually see a lot of the wood has been cleared up to establish that trade. That could cause TF. That could cause some issues for TF in the long run if they need that wood for future. As you know, sacrificing some wood for some early trade is a good thing, but if you need that wood late game, it's going to be an issue. But unfortunately, I mean, a lot of the wood, since all the fighting has been really happening on the front doorstep of uniK's base, they have lost a lot of wood to random onager shots. But I mean, the score lead has gone in favor of Team uniK, so that's the first time they've really had the score lead. They're going to lose some onagers here for free. Some nice split micro, but you know. In the meantime, some pushing in from the Peon, and I mean, this push has, now the castle has gone down, so the push is going to fall back. So both forward castles have gone down. TF have better map control, should suffice for wood, that's true. But the problem is like, uniK has had better trade for longer, and they're going to have better gold. And now they're starting to push back on both sides. Big push coming in, but unless a castle goes up on this side, I don't think Peon's too worried about it. He'll just be able to stall a little bit. Those bombard cannons are going to get some nice micro and try to snipe these onagers. But the onagers coming forward and will land a nice shot onto those bombard cannons. And one goes down, onager shot, gets a nice shot off, and decent split micro, not the greatest, but saves some of them. In the meantime, Brislin coming forward with her Hussar and Cav archers, and we see the house wall starting to come up to prevent any raids, but those Hussars are going to get in here and pick off a few villagers. We see some green keeps coming in as well, trying to get that green keep wall going forward. More wood heavy civs for TF, that's true. That is true. Again, neither civ, the TF not having really the mobility to be able to go into heavy Hussar production. So we see some pushes. I'll be right back. Alright, muted the tab. No more noise from the work computer. As the fight continues on, we see a very forward wall, and Brislin, Turks and switch to Janissary's bombard cannon when wood gets slim. True, true. I mean, that still is some wood. That's a very gold intensive competition, like more gold intensive than what they're doing currently, I think. But yeah, they're gonna force us back, and we see Peon trying to establish control of this hill, has a couple barracks up, and with the Rams coming in and drawing fire from those Genoese crossbowmen, these Mamluks are gonna be able to start picking off some of these units. And so this is going to force Malhar back, and Peon's going to start trying to get a castle up. We'll see if he sends how many villagers he sends forward. But with the Rams coming forward, and Condottiero is only now being sent in to come in and support. And we see bombard cannons coming in. That's a lot of bombard cannons. They're going to be able to snipe the foundations if he tries to build them. In the meantime, we see a big elephant push from Greek on this left side, getting into the army of Brislin. Brislin not paying too much attention to the Scav Archer, not microing them. Trying to get in, microing the bombard cannons more, which is probably, a little bit more efficient. But I mean, Brislin losing a lot of Cav Archers, losing a lot of bombard cannons to these elephants, and only now realizing that she needs to pull her units back. So that's a lot of units dead. A lot of very expensive units, and you need to get that Cav Archer mass up again. So that's most of Brislin's army lost. So very unfortunate loss there. Elephants getting a very good trade there. But yeah, I mean, with Peon's support, they're going to clean this up, and Brislin will need to remaster her Cav Archers, remaster her bombard cannons, and she's going to continue to do so. But their push is starting to come in. The mass of war raiding is going to be very hard to push into. And really, it's just going to be the issue is that I think the slower and more powerful composition of Team TF is going to be hard for Team uniK to push into, especially with some walls going up. No stonewalling from either player, which is not from anybody, which is nice. And they might have actually agreed on no walls, now that I think about it, which is why we see the outpost walls, or the outpost quick walls, and Peon is building his castles. So it might have just been no walls at all. The CA workshop coming in from Brislin, gonna just send Rams in from there and just start taking out some of these house walls, open up the area for some raids. War Reagan's gonna chase away the Cav Archers of Brislin, and the score has flipped back to the TF's favor. Some Hussars coming in here as well. We see actually Janissaries coming in from Brislin trying to clean up some of these Halberdiers, and we see Champions, might have been a misclick, but Rams going to come forward, and those Rams are going to cause some problems with Cav Archers. But with plenty of bombard cannons from Brislin, those Siege Rams are going to absolutely get decimated, and that is a lot of expensive Siege Rams lost. A big ball of Genoese crossbows over here, though. And yeah, that's going to be very hard to push into, as needs to land some nice shots. One nice onager shot. The Condottiero is trying to get onto the onagers on this side, and they're going to get onto the other onagers that Peon has. Peon is going to get sniped, and now the Rams come forward, and they're going to be trying to absorb some fire from the Genoese crossbowmen, and Condottiero's coming in as well. So Condottiero's Genoese crossbowmen is going to be very hard competition for Peon to deal with. Needs to get those onagers and needs to land some very nice shots. Campbell's not the greatest at cleaning up Condottieros, but they're going to get some good shots to force these Genoese crossbowmen back. No stone walls. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I missed that. I missed that part of the memo. That explains the outpost walls. And yeah, so we see a lot of massive Conic raid coming in. So Conic's going to be very good at trading with these elephants, at least just providing meat shield for, you know, double the units. And they're going to clean up a lot of these elephants, that forcing the elephants to get to fight back here instead of having to fight on the cav archers of Grizzlin. It means that Grizzlin's going to be able to maintain the hill control and get a lot of bomber cannons, start firing onto these war wagons. And the elephants do clean up those Conics, but I mean, they lost so much HP there that Grizzlin is going to actually be able to trade efficiently against these elephants now. Industry is going to be taking some pot shots at these elephants, taking some pot shots at these Rams, but Grizzlin is starting to be forced back. It does have a lot of bomber cannons up, and they can take a lot of shots against these elephants. War Wagons are going to cause some problems, though, and Grizzlin does not match up well against the War Wagons, so needs to have a solution against these War Wagons, and really, Turks don't have, Turks do not have many options for that. Are going to clean this up, though, with the bomber cannon support, losing a lot of cav archers, but the Hussars are going to come in here and finish this up, but more War Wagons coming in with some more bomber cannon support. With bomber cannons of Koreans, I think you get extra. No, it's the Turks who get the extra range on their bomber cannons. So Peon is pushing. Oh wow, Peon is pushing over here, taking out a bunch of these units. This is why I need a co-caster sometimes. Yeah, nice push from Peon, pushing these forces back with the Genoese crossbowmen, going to be massing up, and they're going to be pushing in, and oh, nice shot, nice attack rounds. Getting another attack round, wiping out a lot of those Genoese crossbowmen. That's now small enough Genoese crossbowmen numbers that the camels should be able to clean some of this up. More coming in with support, but I mean, Andre's just landing shot after shot and wipes out his own camels. But I mean, cleaned up so many onagers. Yeah, that was a good trade. That's going to allow Peon to continue to push. A little bit of push in the middle. We see some Rams and Elephants being pushed in the middle by Greek, trying to slow down the push in the middle from Peon. But unfortunately, Conic's going to do a very good job. Just kind of ignore the elephants for now as the Mamelukes come in and try to clean up those elephants. Those Conic's going to wipe out a lot of that siege, take out a lot of those siege rams, and that's going to be a very efficient trade. And the cast is going to be able to help support the fight against the elephants. Those war elephant Chonkaboys going to have to fall back. In the meantime, Grizzlin slowly pushing forward with a massive number of bomber cannons, 12 bomber cannons to be exact. And with the extra range, 14 range do outrange the keeps of the Korean players. So just barely able to outrange those keeps, which means those bomber cannons can take out those keeps. Very important to do so. Otherwise, those keeps, I mean, one's walking in, and those keeps will start wiping out some of those bomber cannons. But Hussars are going to come in here and try to soak up some fire and keep those war wings occupied as those bomber cannons start taking out those keeps. We see Grizzlin building a castle on this middle hill. It's going to be very nice to help slow down any further push. And yeah, it's going to be a very nice situation for Team uniK. They're starting to push back, gaining map control. Now the fight is in the middle of the map instead of on the front of their doorsteps, which it has been for a while. But the War Wagons moving forward, those War Wagons are going to dive onto those bombard cannons, going to snipe 1, 2, maybe even 3. And Mamelukes going to come in here and try to snipe out and stop these War Wagons from pushing in too much. And Grizzlin needs to keep her bomber cannons alive as much as possible. Going to lose a few more bomber cannons, but I mean, that's a lot of War Wagons to lose just traded for a handful of bomber cannons. So I think that's a good trade for Team uniK. I think Grizzlin's going to be fine with that. We see them continue to push. Some Rams trying to get into the action. But, I mean, now we're onto the woodline of Deadly Yetis. So, Yeti's going to be forced back and lose a lot of villagers here. These keeps are going to go down. That's going to be a massive loss for Team TF. I was not expecting these games to go this long. I'm going to be honest. 2 games in, my throat's already scratchy. Alright, Peon making a nice push on the bottom side, but I mean, Genoese crossbowmen against Marmalukes, not the best. Or Mamelukes, not Marmaluk. Not the best trade, and we see some Andre trades, and yeah, 1 for 1, not the worst. And Peon's just kind of holding off as this push starts coming in on this left side, but Grizzlin's now has nothing to do with these elephants. Elephants going to get onto these bombard cannons. Bombard cannons walking right into the elephants. Bad engagement from Grizzlin, losing a lot of bomber cannons, which is not something you can be afforded to losing. Conic's can come in here and try to save some of these bomber cannons. Bomber cannons need to run away though. The elephants chasing them down. Mamelukes can clean up these guys on the left side, but Grizzlin down to only 9 bomber cannons, losing a bunch of those Marmaduke. Yeah, so Brisland, I mean, again, Brisland does not have a very good way of engaging against Supremes. War Wagons and Heavy Siege is just not great to deal with. The Bomber Cannons, and then with the Elephants coming in here and sniping all the Bomber Cannons, I mean, what do you do as Brisland? You need some other unit from your allies to be able to help out. Hussar is going to come in here, though, and, I mean, push on the right side has stalled. Mamelukes can come in here and try to clean up some of these Genoese crossbowmen. And they're going to clean this army up, but the Bomber Cannon is going to be microed back. And yeah, Bomber Cannon needs to be taken care of. And the Rams starting to come forward with some siege backup. Peon's going to make a nice push here. Needs to make sure to clean up these onagers before they get too invested, or before they get too much damage onto the siege rams of Peon. Peon getting a 1-for-2 there, nice trade, and then going to be able to wipe out this one. And now, I mean, how do you stop this push from Malhar? Malhar will need some support. In the meantime, the push on the middle, we see Conics coming in for the reinforcements. So we see Deadly Eddie trying to send War Wagons over to try to help out the push, but with these Conics intercepting, it's going to stall the slow-moving army from Team TF from helping out, and so Peon's going to continue his push here, and this is going to allow Brisland some time to mass up her Bomber Cannons, mass up her units. We see some Janistries coming out actually to clean up all these halberdiers, as we see some Trash Wars start to mass up, and so these Janistries are going to come in here and snipe Treb, and Brisland going to make a nice unit switch, and those Bomber Cannons is now starting to file forward, and they're going to start wiping out a lot of these keeps on a hill, and it's going to expose a lot of the eco for the unique or Team TF. And yeah, the War Wag is super slow. I mean, they're not the worst, but I mean, you see this massive push on the right side, and that opens up the trade. The Siege Workshop wall has gone down, so this is going to be an exposed eco. Some nice onager shots. I mean, it's hard to push into this much onagers. The War Wag is coming over here to try to help out, but I mean, Peon has taken the fight down to Malhar, and Malhar definitely going to be struggling here. Yeah, and so we're going to be seeing a massive push. Brisland just has to stall out at this point. Right now, Peon is going to be the one doing all the damage. Champions and Halberdiers is going to be eaten alive by the Janistries, Castfire, and Hussars. War Wag is going to be nice here. Yeah, Malhar team have no mobility. Yep. Yeah, so that's been the name of the game, is that the entire game has been Team TF trying to force a fight in the middle, which they've been doing for the most part, and trying to prevent the unique team from using their mobility. They've been pretty successful at that for the most part, but now comes the issue where they're forcing the unit. Forcing the issue where the mobility is needed as the fight starts being drawn out from the left side and the right side, and once the fight starts going to multiple places, Team TF is not going to be able to reinforce. Now the trade is being effective. Ram's going to be coming in here. I mean, this will get cleaned up soon, but that is a massive loss for Team TF, losing a lot of trade, losing a lot of buildings, and the trade now is exposed. Peon is going to be able to continue to push in here, and it's going to send these Mamelukes back, and they're going to get into even more of the trade. But nice castle and some keep placement will help clean up some of these units. In the meantime, because all those War Wagons were forced to pull over here to help out with this fight, and the Elephants over here as well, Brisland's taking this moment to push with their Bomber Cannons, Hussars, and Janistries, and they're going to just start wiping out the base and expose the left side. So now the left and right side of the base fully exposed for Team TF. uniK going to take advantage. You see a forward castle coming out from Brisland, establishing the middle of the map control, and Conics going in to go wipe out some of the economy, and we see a lot of keeps in defense, but I mean, keeps are great and all, but they're going to be losing villagers left and right. And Conics, of course, not going to lose to Halberdiers, as the dismounted Conics are going to be doing a lot of damage here. We see some Cav Arcs coming in as well. We need the Bomber Cannons to take out these towers, but I mean, uniK looks like they're going to be able to do this. A little bit of securement has gone on the right side, so Malhar pushed back, cleaned up a lot of these units. The Elephants here to provide a nice meat shield, but I mean, with this many Elephants and units in the back trying to protect the trade, this is going to allow the rest of the fight in the middle to be dictated by Team uniK. And so, yeah, Condottiero is going to be sent forward, and I mean, the Elephants, of course, going to get. Unfortunately, Brisland's team has no way of dealing. Brisland's units have no way of dealing with Elephants. So Turks having no real answers to elite war Elephants, and especially with War Wag and backup. So going to lose some more Bomber Cannons as they are forced to fall back. No reinforcements from any ally quite yet, and there's going to be a lot of dead Bomber Cannons. But in the meantime, you can see the Conics have gotten into the economy and the trade, finding kind of a nice little soft spot back here, where the Conics can go to town and start wiping out a lot of trades. They're going to be wiping out a lot of units here. So that's a very nice engagement from Lakes. Brisland losing a lot of army, which is unfortunate, but I mean, at least they're not losing trade. So Brisland can reinforce her army. And does keep some of her Bomber Cannons alive as Hussars continue to flood forward. So Brisland going to be doing a nice job here and continuing to just pressure. So Peon pushing on this right side. And, I mean, Elephant's going to do a nice cleanup here, but so many Rams, and once those start going forward, once the Mamelukes start massing up, I mean, there's not going to be a lot for Malhar to be able to clean up here as the Elephants finally go down, and all the Elephants need to be focused on pushing back Brisland. Now they're going to fight in the middle, going to snipe a bunch of these Trebs, as there's not a lot of here to defend against it from Lakes, but I mean, Lakes Trebs have done the job. They've pushed back the castles, maintained more map control, and forced all the Elephants to fight in the middle, which, I mean, that means they're not supporting the fight against the Turks, which, you know, they need the Elephants to push back the Turks. The Elephants aren't going to be able to help out with these siege rams, which only Genovese crossbowmen. That is a massive ram train. No support from the Rams. I mean, the Mamelukes over here are picking off some reinforcements, but I mean, those Rams just ignoring all these units. Okay, a couple Elephants are going to come over here, and would love to see the Mamelukes go and reinforce against those Elephants, but I mean, those Rams are going to come in here and just try to decimate as many buildings as they can, which I don't know if they're going to be able to get as much as they should. So we'll see how that goes, but I mean, Brisland now is on the economy of Deadly Yeti. A lot of condotieros coming over here to try to clean up some of these units, but I mean, losing castles and buildings and economy, Team uniK looks like they're starting to run away with this. Bomber Cannon is starting to deploy some fire, but now that the Elephants are over here, and again, unfortunately, Brisland does not have anything to really deal with these Elephants. With the condotieros and war wagons pushed back, Brisland is going to lose a lot of units here. Brisland needs some support from their allies. A couple siege launchers here to clean up some of these to help provide some firepower. It's going to be nice. Connor's going to push back in the middle, so Lake's going to try to push on his side, and I mean, a couple castles here, but those castles are going to go down pretty quickly. And Peon is now starting to push him on the right side. I mean, that siege ram train has gone down as the Elephants were able to take it all out. Mamelukes going to be able to clean up these Elephants pretty quickly. And, I mean, Condottiero is going to come and snipe this Onager. But, I mean, this is forcing so much of Malhar's attention down here. And it's just allowing, yeah, I mean, the army of Brisland has been wiped out pretty handily. Condottiero is getting into the economy of Brisland, which is unfortunate. But I mean, with some castles here, they should be able to clean it up. Hussar is going to come in and clean it up as well. And really no sustained push from Team TF anytime soon. As the raids continue to come in from Peon, just forcing all this action on this bottom right side, which is not where you want the fight to be. It is so far away from the other reinforcements of their allies. In the meantime, the Trebs starting to come in and just pick off building after building. Elephant's trying to come in here, but enough Conics will beat an Elephant eventually. And just not a lot of reinforcements coming in to support both the fight on three sides. So now the fight is happening in three different areas. And with the mobility of each of the individual unique teams, they're able to kind of help out where they need to. And any reinforcements, if any of the pushes start bearing fruit, TF is not able to reinforce that push, or reinforce being pushed anytime. So the slow push starting to come forward, and the mobility really starting to pay off. We see these Trebs taking off its forward cast, and that's going to be a very exposed front of the base. Like, just a slow, continuous push. I'm actually going to take a quick moment and message Brisland, because I'm going to need a quick break. All right, I'm going to need a small break after this because my throat is going to absolutely decimate. I'm going to need some more tea. I'm running low on fluids. This has been a very drawn out game. And so Cav Arch is starting to pay off some dividends, taking out these condotieros, but War Wagons, of course, going to cause problems for Brisland. Cav Arch is going to continue to fire onto these condotieros. But we see a massive push in the middle as looks like Lakes has gotten Peon support to push in the middle as the right side is no longer being pushed heavily. Peon taking a moment out of his busy day to continue the push on this middle and left side. It looks like the uniK is going to try to win it on this side. They're going to start questioning the production buildings of Greek. And if Greek starts losing more of his castles, he's not going to be able to rebuild them. That's going to be a lot less elephants being produced, and those elephants are kind of causing most of the issues. See some tributes going on, and Lake's paying some stuff to Brisland, getting her plenty of castles. So she's going to start putting some forward castles. Don't forget to hydrate, absolutely. Lombardia team games can be really long, yeah. I have a bunch of liquids, but I'm running out, so I might have to go take a refill real quick. But we're gonna get there. And yeah, it looks like the archers, the Cav Archers and bomber cannons from Brisland starting to push really heavily into the Korean economy. And I mean, I think this is the start of the end. The siege rams coming in, and they're gonna start wiping out a lot of this production from Malhar. We have a massive squad in the middle. There's a lot of bomber cannons and Genovese crossbowmen. We'll see if Peon notices this. Gonna land a nice shot here, but I mean, this could start doing some damage. But I mean, they're losing. Like, yeah, this could take out some buildings, but really, it's not going to be killing any units anytime soon. So, and they're not able to reinforce this. And I mean, they're gonna start getting into the trade. These castles are going down for Greek. Greek losing some of the most important production buildings on his side. And yeah, I mean, now they're starting to struggle for wood. You have all this wood in the back. You have all these idle villagers. Oh man, there's no wood income anymore for TF. Honestly, a 1 or 2 siege onagers to clean this wood up would be huge for uniK. I mean, we can see how the wood looks. We have a couple nice wood patch over here. Some wood patches in the back for, yeah, I mean, TF still has massive amount of, or uniK still has a couple wood patches left. The wood really just turning into a pure woodless game. And again, what we were, as Otter was saying, the necessary wood eco for the TF team is going to be hard to support at this stage of the game. Some good engagements. I think uniK may have overextended a little bit. They took out another castle. All of Malhar's forces have come over here to help out this fight, and so they're going to be able to clean up a lot of these units. Connor's going to try to do some nice pushes in to try to clean up some of these bomber cannons, but I think they're going to get picked off by these Genovese crossbows. And so this push will stall quite a bit, but I mean, that's been a lot of important buildings lost. And again, there's a lot of idle economy. Finding out about this wood line, so I think Peon needs to realize that, hey, this is the only wood they really have left. If he can come in here with this 1 or 2 onagers and just wipe out, like he has these production buildings. If you were to make an onager or 2 and then go and wipe out all this wood, that would be pretty much all she wrote for all the wood that Team TF has access to. But the Hussar is going to continue to raid on here, killing some farm space, and I mean, they're running out of farm eco, so unfortunately that means that there's not going to be a lot of farm left over for a lot of food income coming up soon. And Greek has resigned, so Team uniK has managed to win. So well done to Team uniK, holding on for dear life on the massive push in the middle. And yeah, that's going to, Malhar will hold on for a couple more seconds, and that's going to be a tap out. So well done by Team uniK, going up 2-0. Massive amount of fights. So yeah, I mean, it just turns into a mobility game. Is the moment that the push in the middle stalled out from Team TF and the mobility started coming into play from Team uniK, was when once it started becoming a mobility game, there was no way Team TF was able to hold on. So well done by uniK holding on for as long as they did and getting the necessary armies situated and just pushing on both sides, forcing the issue everywhere across the map and forcing the very slow-moving army to get to be involved. And yeah, I mean, once the wood line started running out and all the economy started causing, GG, can't wait to see the wreck of that. It was an insane game, Brazilin. Let's take a look at the... I think relics were a huge issue. I think people don't... Like, yes, relics aren't as important as trade, but like extra 4k gold from relics for that long, I think people need to get the relics a lot more. But gold collected, yeah, I mean, you can see that the trade profit of Brizlin setting up that trade early. It's 90. That's a what, 200k gold for. That's Maldar. That what 250k gold for Team uniK, and then 50, 70, 130. So that was a 70k difference in gold for Team uniK, and that's because their trade never got touched. And they set the trade up way earlier. So well done to Team uniK. I want to see the military kills. 2,000 kills for Deadly Yeti. That's the power of Korean siege onagers. Wow. So, alright. What a game. Whew. I have requested a small break. Let me go to intermission. Let me update a few things real quick. I have requested a small, 5-minute break just because I need to go refill on water, give my voice a rest a little bit. Right score. It's another win. All right. So game 3 will be Ghost Lake. I'm going to take a small break. And then we'll be back for game 3, and that's going to be on Ghost Lake. I need to go make some more tea. And Otter, you redeemed hats off. I am wearing my man bun right now, but I will put it down for a hat. Your options are Mayans, Bulbasaur, Panda, and Tiesto. Those are your 4 options. Choose which hat you'd like me to wear, and I'll put that one on. I will be back in a few minutes. Let me turn some tunes on for you guys in the meantime. I do not have an otter hat, unfortunately. I do have a turtle and a flamingo hat. So I will be back momentarily. Give me a second to go fill up on water and make some tea, and then we'll be back. I just want to show real quick. I found this in my fridge that I forgot I have because I haven't been to the gym for a little bit. But I have my backup water. So I won't be running out of water anytime soon in the matches. All right, I've taken my union required break. We are back. We are ready for game 3. Let me message Brislin and say I'm all set. All right. How's everybody enjoying the game so far? We've only had 2, and they have been 2 doozies of a game. Absolutely doozies. So Ghost Lake is an interesting one. Ghost Lake is always interesting just because the middle is so open and there's nothing there. Woodline's kind of come into play earlier on. There's not a lot of neutral resources. Mr. Love, thank you so much. It means a lot. Yeah, Bulbasaur hat is on. Just do something, and I just realized I don't have stream labels running. I don't know if I need it because I don't have anything showing up there. But yeah, so uniK is up 2-0. Yo, thank you for the follow, my friend. Manage reward requests. Let me just accomplish all. Complete all. There we go. All right. Boom, boom, boom. I want you with Alright, let me grab the new code. And switch over here. See how the game... It might just be in lobby right now. I did message Brislin and tell her that I'm all ready to go. I'm unsure of who will be playing this next one. Alright, looks like we actually can talk about the matchup. It's going to be Ghost Lake. It is going to be Lakes, King's Landing, and Cyan versus Deadly Yeti, Boomstick, and Malhar. Golden on Ghost Lake. So game 3. So let me switch over to the scene. So we can talk about the matchup. So we have Celts, Mayans, and Japan. They chose the Japanese. It's not Brislin playing the Japanese. So TF will not be able to choose Japanese again. I am shocked. Shocked, I tell you. But yeah, so Team uniK going with Celts, Mayans, and Japanese versus Team TF, which is Deadly Yeti, Boomstick, and Malhar. The Malians, Franks, and Teutons. So, let's see. I mean, Mayans going to be very strong Civ right out the gates. So we could be seeing a very quick match. Mayans need to get their market abuse off right away. And they need to really push into getting all the gold units. And because, I mean, they don't really need food. And, yeah, Malians. I'm not too sure what the end game for Malians is. They do get one of the best trash units in... Oh, no, that's melee. Yeah, Franks and Teutons, though, the Cav units of Boomstick and Malhar are going to be very tough to deal with. Japanese, of course, having really good halberdiers should mean that this is pretty good. Cyan said he would make you proud. I mean, he has a lot to live up to. But we are underway for game number 3. We're not quite underway quite yet, but we will be there momentarily. I need to lock my mouse on the screen. There we go. All right. Boomstick is also Legend at Japanese, something to watch out for. All right. We'll have to keep an eye out. All right. In the blue, we have Lakes playing the Celts. His pocket, Cyan, playing the Japanese, and his flank, the other flank, is King's Landing playing the Mayans. First time we see King's Landing today. Malhar in the red playing the Teutons. In the yellow is Boomstick, who has been showing up hard, playing the Franks. And we have Deadly Yeti playing the Malians in the purple. So, right away, the Hussar are getting absolutely nothing done. Gonna get picked off there. And I don't think there's gonna be any damage on any player. Boomstick may have lost a villager, or maybe just a little bit late, but I do not think he lost anything. So just a little bit slower on the uptake of getting vills going. Gonna maybe lose? Nope. Okay. So should do fine here. That will be cleaned up. And now we see an early raid coming in from Deadly Yeti, setting some camels forward against some halberdiers though, the Celts. Celts with their faster infantry they should be able to catch up these camels relatively decently. So I don't think the raids should continue too much. We might see Deadly Eddie really go heavy into raids, but we see some good palisade walls coming in from lakes, and he's going to clean these guys up. Does pick off one villager, as one villager is caught out unaware, trying to build that forward barracks, and these camels are going to continue to come stream forward. So we're going to see the raids continue to come forward as Boomstick sent his paladins in as well. So we're going to be seeing a push on this left side as we see a massive Eagle and Halberdier push on this right side from King's Landing as he cleans up these couple paladins first, and then he's probably going to send the rest forward and try to get into the base of Malthar. But Malthar making a castle to defend against this. In the meantime, big fight on this left side. Cyan coming over here to help out with some Cav Archers and Halberdiers, and this is going to push the camels back, so no more raids coming in. Some paladins are still in there, trying to pick off one villager here and there. Nice look. But yeah, these castles should go up, and the forces of Boomstick starting to fall back a little bit. But I mean, that's a lot of paladins streaming forward. We're going to see them have to fall back a little bit. We're going to see them try to engage onto these Cav Archers. That's a couple Cav Archers just lost for free. So I think he's happy to take that engagement. Camel's waiting to try to get into a fight for the Malian player. And meantime, we see these champions coming in. I mean, champion's going to be very good until the Malian player gets their plumed archers out. And so this champion's going to be doing a lot of damage against Halberdier Eagles. We actually don't even see that many Eagles coming in quite yet. So no Eagles for the champions to feast upon. They're going to be able to feast out these Halberdiers though. But I mean, once these plumed archers start coming in, they should be pretty decent cleaning this up. But a lot of the fighting is going to be happening at Lakes' base. So that's something to keep an eye on. And yeah, we see some towers starting to come in from Tyann to protect against this, and we see a squad of army coming in to try to help out with the push on King's Landing side. We see two knights coming in, and I mean, I think this is a very good matchup. Post-imp, oh, what a nice shot. I think post-imp, or DM, Teuton's kind of beat Mines pretty handily. I could be wrong about that, but that's just how it feels. I mean, there's really not much you can do with your Eagles are completely countered by all their units. Yeah, we actually see a nice little raid coming in from Malthar, picking off a few villagers here. Cyan down to 6 villagers, so he's not paying too much attention back here, and so he's going to lose a couple villagers here, and he's going to lose another villager. So that is a lot of villagers dead for Cyan. One villager idle, so Cyan down to 6 villagers. Focusing, trying to clean this up, though. This is a big push in coming in from Deadly Yeti. A lot of camels, and attack grounding his own castle, so we'll see how that is. But taking out some of the wood right now and trying to land some shots onto these Halberdiers. So Halberdiers going to try to get onto these onagers, and some good trades coming in from the units of Lakes. And they're going to kind of be at a standstill for a little bit as the Halberdiers and onagers start massing up from both sides. But a massive army coming in from Boomstick. And Malthar just controlling the middle of the map. So the fact they have all this army on the middle of the map means that they can kind of choose where they want to fight. Again, they're going to have a very, even though Teutons are pretty slow, they're going to have a very nice mobile army. You see the plume archers starting to mass up, but I mean, against Teuton siege onagers, it's going to be very hard to engage upon, especially with so many units here, and especially with paladins coming in to try to chase back these plumed archers. This is going to be very hard for King's Landing to hold off with. Paladin's going to be engaging over here. Let me just, actually, I just realized I still have my music playing. There we go. Alright. And, I mean, yeah, now we see some pushing in the middle, just trying to force fights on all different sides, as I think the matchups for Team TF are very strong here. It's very hard for Mayans to push into Teutons. And, yeah, I mean, with the Paladins here to support this too, I mean, what are you going to do with Plumed Archers? You can't really engage on this with Siege Onager backup. You need Eagles to clean up those Siege Onagers, but the Eagles are going to come in here, and we're going to see a push from King's Landing trying to push back. In the meantime, Cyan's starting to secure the base of Lakes, getting this base set up. Some Trebs going forward with those, the Celt Trebs going to be able to fire very fast, and a lot of Celt Siege Onagers. But Hussars, or not Hussars, Light Cav and Camel's going to try to engage here, and there's not a lot of army back here. Those Celt Onagers, that is a massive amount of Celt Onagers. Those guys are going to wipe the floor with Deadly Yeti's army. So Deadly Yeti is now finding himself a little bit behind right now. He's going to have to figure out how to deal with this. But, I mean, no Halberdiers here to clean up, so these Light Cavs should be able to get in here and try to clean up some of these onagers, but they're going to be... In the meantime, the push on the right side, though, very, very hard. I mean, Teuton's going to be able to push very heavily into this base. Paladin's coming in here as well. We see some reinforcements from Cyan trying to push onto these units. With Cav Archer is going to be very nice to clean up some of the champions of the Teuton player. But, I mean, the Trebs and the Paladins and the Siege Onagers continue to push into the Mayan base, and there's not much the Mayans can do about this right now. So, yeah, I mean, Halberdiers starting to mass up, and they're just going to start pushing in on this right side, get some castles up. But we actually see some interesting defensive some castles in the backside, trying to get his reinforcements out. But I mean, the Mayan player, King's Landing, just losing so many resources, so many production buildings, and just being pushed back. Plume Darch is still staying alive. Massive shot onto those Eagles. That is a lot of Eagles dead. Unfortunately, they were not in staggered formation. But they're going to wipe out a lot of these onagers. I mean, the Teuton Knights are going to be here. Teutonic Knights are going to be here to clean this up. And that's another castle going down. So the front of the base is pretty much exposed. Still a lot of onagers left, though. And so, I mean, Cav Archer is going to be very good at pushing back those ETKs. But that's going to mean that the onagers are going to land shots onto those Cav Archers. That's a lot of Japanese Cav Archers dead. Oh, no. So many dead. Plume Archer's trying to get in here. And, I mean, if he still had those Eagles, if he hadn't lost all those Eagles from that one shot, he would have been able to dive onto those exposed siege onagers. But unfortunately, he's not able to do so, and that's a lot of dead units. In the meantime, this left side, I mean, started to be pushed back by Lakes. So Lakes has some chances here with the Celt Siege with so much HP and extra firing rate. They're going to be able to do some damage here. Some elite Road Raiders coming in here, but the Paladins can come in here and they're going to wipe out a lot of this siege. Not a lot that there's no Halberdiers here to clean up these Paladins. Those Paladins are going to wipe out a lot of that army. And I think at this point, really, the left side just needs to be held by Team TF as they are going to win this push on the right side. But there's a lot of archer units coming in from both sides. Nice flanking maneuver from King's Landing with support from Cyan. So they're going to come in here, and I mean, it's Onagers need to come in here, but a couple of Eagles on the backside going to clean up a couple of these siege Onagers. Cav Archers and Halberdiers coming forward as well to clean up some of these units. One siege Onager remains, but those Halberdiers are going to make a dive with a random ram from King's Landing, trying to clean up that siege Onager. And if they can clean up that siege Onager, they're going to be able to push back. So what a pushback with this nice little flanking army production reinforcements. They're going to be able to push this army back to the base, and that's going to give some nice, very needed breathing room for King's Landing to reboom. In the meantime, a lot of those Celt Siege Onagers were cleaned up, and now we see some Celt Siege Onager micro, and they're going to probably win that fight quite a bit. That Treb is exposed, and now we're going to be seeing the very close proximity battles of bases being right on top of each other. Some Onagers trying to make sure, I mean, again, it's going to be a hard deal managing Onagers. If you can micro the Onagers, you're going to be fine, but it's going to be very hard. Paladins coming in as well, trying to snipe some of these Onagers, losing a lot of siege here. But in the meantime, we see some raids, some trade being set up by the Team TF, and we'll see if they try to do a longer trade as well. But yeah, King survived. I mean, with support, Cyan was pretty much the reason why he was able to survive. They're gonna find the trade is very exposed. Trade is very exposed. They could go and wipe out a lot of that early trade. No trade quite yet for Team uniK though. Get a couple markings in. They're probably going to have to do some short trading until they can guarantee one of the other corners. I think they want to take a focus and try to gain control of this corner. If they can win that corner, actually they're winning this corner as well, so they can get a long left side trade. But I mean, on Celt Halb Onager are going to be very tough to push into. They're going to just absolutely decimate some stuff. Celt faster firing Trebs as well. They're going to be able to take out this castle on this left side, and that left side corner is going to be exposed. uniK is holding on. I mean, I'm surprised to see that there's really no action at this moment from Team TF. Looks like they've lost all their military. We can take a look at the military counts. Cyan has all the military. There's not a lot of military from Team TF. They have about a combined 80 military. That's not a lot in the game of Team TF. Cav Archers and Plume Archers here are going to just chew apart all these Paladins. Some good landings, some shots, some Eagles trying to pick off some Onagers here and there. Barber, of course, ruined things for me. You get that cleaned up, but that's behind chat, so not too big of a deal. Paladin's going to land onto these Cav Archers and Plumed Archers. I mean, they're going to get some decent trades here, but I mean, that's not anywhere near enough trades for what you're throwing away Paladins there. They went all in. I mean, I think they did. Like, the hold on the left side was huge, and the hold on the right side was insane. I can't believe they held on that right side. You're going to lose a couple of Onagers here as the Paladins get in here, pick off one Onager, maybe a second one. A big squad of Onagers coming in here. Still no Halberdiers. I'd love to see some Halberdiers from the Celt player. So I think Lakes needs to start spamming out Halberdiers because he's losing all of his very expensive Onagers to this. But he has established this left side. They took out that castle. They're getting a castle up on this left side. So we're going to see a castle, a left side, kind of another corner controlled by Team uniK. And now that they've wiped out the castle on the right side, they've doubted the castle, they wiped out the trade. That's 3 corners they control. TF's trade is not protected. It got wiped out here. They were trying to protect it. They're now switching into a short trade, which isn't going to be very efficient here. So, yeah, I mean, Halberdiers need to go forward and be reinforced. But, I mean, now we're going to see Lakes establish control on this left side. They're going to be able to, Team uniK is going to be able to get a full trade on this left side. And, I mean, I don't think Malian Light Cav are going to be the answer to Halberdier Onager. They're trying to get in here and just kill any castles, additional castles going up. But, I mean, Yeah, Light Cav do not match up very well against Hal Boninger from Celts. And they're gonna get trapped in here. Oh no! Those poor Light Cav. You do not want to be trapped in an area with 30 Celt Halves. That is a terrifying prospect as a Light Cav. But yeah, you can actually see the trade starting to mass up. And, I mean, they have pushed back on this right side. Cav Arch is going to get cleaned up by the units of Malhar and Boomstick. But they're just going to run in here and try to just be annoying and get as much use as they can out of it. Some Siege Workshop walls going up. But that's going to allow Villager to come over here and try to gain control of this right side corner. So they're going to try to get back their trade. In the meantime, though, Paladin's going to come in here and try to snipe some Trebs. We see a lot of Onagers being wiped out. Onagers, of course, clumping up too much. And they're going to get wiped out here. But the Cav Archers here with some Halb and Onager support, this is going to be very hard ball to push into. That castle will go down as the Trebs do take it out. But, I mean, that's only one castle. I don't think I'm too worried about that. Some nice towers from Cyan. Probably want to get a few more towers based around all the space. We actually see the Teuton push back on the Mayan player. So King's Landing having a little bit more struggle. Again, as we see ETKs and Halberdiers, or ETKs and Trebs and some Siege Onagers coming in here. We're going to start pressuring some of the bases. We see Champions coming in. Those Champions will get melted by the number of ETKs and Onagers there are here. So they're going to get in here. They're going to be able to take out one Onager, maybe take out a second or third. But that's kind of throwing away a lot of Onager Champions for really no reason. We need to see King's Landing send his help, get some micro in. Exposing. Oh, this is dangerous. The Eagles could go swipe in here and take out all those Onagers. The ETKs wisely realizing that they're out of position and going back and try to defend the Onagers. The Paladin's going to come in here and raid the base of King's Landing. They can do a lot of damage to these units. A lot of Japanese towers, though. The Japanese towers firing a lot of shots, and they're going to be able to push back this push quite a bit. And now we see the Halberdiers, Eagles, and Plumed Archers coming in here, but I think that's throw of Eagles. You need to keep those Eagles to try to snipe these Siege Onagers. The Plumed Archers are going to do their job, the Halberdiers are going to do their job as well, but you need to make sure the Eagles do not get flattened by a single shot volley of the Siege Onagers, kind of like that. But the Trebs finding this back base of King's Landing, going to start pressuring this with... Unfortunately, the Siege Workshop might need to be taken out so that the units can actually get around, and we see the Eagles trying to swing around and try to flank. Paladin's going to be moving to intercept. ETKs are there as well to try to intercept this, but the Halberdiers and Paladins going to be engaging against the Plumed Archers, but I mean, they're just going to be fine. And the Eagles find the exposed Trebs. Oh, they find the exposed Siege. Oh, what a flanking maneuver from King's Landing. ETKs went to go try to help out the fight on the left side, and they're going to wipe out a lot of those Onagers. Those Onagers well microed back, and the body blocking from Boomstick will protect most of those Onagers, so still 3 Onagers remain. Lost a lot of Eagles, and the Trebs do stay up, so losing a lot of those Onagers does hurt, but unfortunately not enough Onagers were taken out that I think it was efficient. So losing one cast, going to lose these side production buildings as well, but I mean, trade is starting to be established, and now the farthest trade market is on this left side by Lakes. Need to clean this up, and yeah, I mean, this should be the trade should be pretty well secured. It looks like the base of Lakes is going to be pretty well secured over here. Needs to make sure that they get some Halberdiers out here to protect against these Paladin raids. But we're going to be seeing a division of the map right down the middle. And yeah, we're going to be seeing full trade being set up. We see the markets back in the corner for Team TF as the push continues to go on. And yeah, the King's Landing just has to relocate. I think he should just not be taking this fight anymore. I think if the... I mean, you just need to come up with some other unit composition to help out on this side, because ETK Siege is not something the Mayans can deal with. So these castles are going to be pushed back, and yeah, King's Landing is going to have to relocate pretty much everything. A lot of Japanese towers here to help protect against this. Plume's going to be able to take out one of these Trebs, and ETK is just trying to find a way to try to get into these bases. And yeah, we're going to be seeing some pushes from the Rams trying to get onto the siege. And we see one of the Onagers just get taken out, and that's all the Onagers. So once all the Onagers go down, then all of the range units of the Team uniK are going to be able to engage on the ETKs and just chew those guys alive. And they're going to take out all these buildings, or all these Trebs, and they're going to fall back. But some Onagers could have gotten a nice shot off here, but the Plume Archers are going to go in under these castles. And that's a nice shot onto those Plume Archers. That's a lot of Plume Archers dead. In the meantime, we see a big push on this left side. Paladin's going to come in here and try to engage onto the production of Lakes. And Lakes actually taps out. We missed out on the fact that all the base of Lakes got completely demolished. So Lakes gets wiped out, and that's going to cause uniK to resign. The trade was never able to get fully established, and that full push on this left side, because the right side was so weak, has allowed Team TF to take their first game. Yeah, he was not getting any help because all the help needed to go onto the right side to keep King's Landing and Cyan alive. So, well done by Team TF. And, I mean, uniK held on way longer than they should have. They held on way longer than they ever should have. But, in the end of the day, I mean, the Mayans versus Toon matchup was just so brutal. There's nothing you can do about that. But that was really well done by both teams. And TF winning the fight by just decimating Lake's base eventually. So well played, and TF is now on the scoreboard. So let's switch over. Showmatch intermission. Go over here. Left score text. Game number 3 goes to TF. Scoreboard is now 1-2. There we go. I want 6-6 then. Last win. Well, they're only playing 7 matches. It's not first of 7, it's best of 7. But they are playing all the matches, so we will be seeing all 7 matches. So we're in for a nice long day of DM. Got to keep that throat nice and lubricated. Make sure that it doesn't dry up and cause me to, get super sick again. Because what happened last time I casted DM, I ended up in a very long, prolonged game without any water. And it was like an hour-long game. It was actually Daisy's game 5. And it was a really good game, but I'd never had water to drink, and my throat just absolutely got decimated from it. So, looks like the next lobby is up. We'll see if that's actually ready to go. But Game 4 is going to be on Golden Pit. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Golden Pit. I like the Hidden Cup version of Golden Pit, where there's some resources scattered around the hill, as opposed to just all in one pit. But it is more interesting in DM, where you have the ability to, if one team sets up in the middle, they can lose the outside, and while the other team has trade. But, whew. Ooh, hiccups. Alright, we're all good. I was choking to death there, but... so we're still waiting on the lobby for a little bit. But yeah, this was yeah, Cyan, it wasn't your best match. I mean, you weren't able to do too much because the problem was that King's Landing just had such a bad matchup against Teutons. The fact that King's Landing ended up on the same side as a Teuton player, he was not winning that fight anytime soon. You had to just continue to help there. And then anytime more than just the Malian player was fighting Lakes, it just meant that you couldn't reinforce Lakes when you needed the reinforcements. So hard to stop Teutons. Yeah. You have to essentially be forcing Teutons to defend, and then you win on the other side. Teutons, of course, very strong, and the fact that the Teuton player was pushing into the Mayans, it was... Yo, Steph, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Have you... I don't think you've played a game yet. Oh, Cyan, thank you for the follow as well. So, actually, the alerts should be up top. I don't know why the alerts are all the way at the bottom. There we go. Let me just move this actually to... Here we go. Dude, right over me. Right there. Perfect. Thank you for streaming. Oh, my pleasure. This has been a very fun game. I love casting DM. Yo, Valhalla, Black Sky, thank you so much for the follow. The thing is, I suck at DM. I'm not very good at Age of Empires in general. I kind of suck at RTSs. Yo, thank you for the follow, Madhar. But casting them, I love watching it. I love watching good competitive games, and Age of Empires is very enjoyable to watch and cast. So if I can just help out the DM community by casting, I'm not going to be much involved in the actual gameplay or like actual playing in tournaments. I love watching. I love casting it. And I think I'm much better at casting than I am at playing. So I'm happy to help out that way. And it's fun. I mean, I get to spend my entire Sunday just casting and chatting about DM. And it's always a pleasure. So game 4 Golden Pit, let's take a look at, we can try to rejoin and see how that lobby is going. We'll see what the matchup is going to be. So we actually see it's going to be Brizzlin, Peon, and Lyrics versus Backy Back, Grinchy Noob, and Boomstick. So Peon getting his 3rd game in today. And yeah, we're going to be seeing how it goes. We see Britons being selected for Brizzlin. Interesting. Slavs for Grinchy Noob. Ooh, Slavs. Yo, what's up, Chef? Mongols going to be selected. So we're going to be seeing the Mongols coming in for Team uniK. So that's going to be a big play on their side. But Slavs coming in from Grinchy Noob. So meaning that TF is going to have the Slav bonus, which is very hard to deal with. And yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm excited for this one. I have my opinions on Golden Pit as a map, but we'll see how that actually translates. I'm not too familiar with them on DM, just because everyone plays Arabia so much. But let's see how the lobby is going, if it's actually in the game. Ooh boy, we have Sicilians. We have an exciting matchup right now. All right, so for Team uniK, we're going to be having Britons, Sicilians, and the Mongols. For Team TF, Lithuanians, Slavs, and Japanese. So we're going to be seeing another option for the Japanese, and Brizlin will have to play against her favorite civ. But Britons, of course, if Brizlin can micro her archers and keep her longbows alive, she'll be fine. But, I mean, Warwolf Trebs will be very nice for any Treb wars and microing them down. Sicilians, very slow, but they do have Siege Andre now. So Sicilians now are no longer a trash tier. They were really bad for a long time in DM just because they only had Onager and they only had it was heavy Scorpion wars with Sergeants. But with the Siege Onager addition to their civ, they are actually kind of useful in Team DM now. You can have them be your Siege Onager civ. Though, of course, uniK is going to be winning off the back of the Mongol player, which is Lyrics. So we should be starting. It might still be in lobby mode. We will swap over. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. All right, game 3. Yo, Lakes, thank you so much for the follow. I thought you would stabilize on that left side of that last game, but unfortunately, it looks like you just weren't able to hold off as much as you should have. The right side, you could have won that game for your team, but I think King's Landing and Syad had a little bit too bad of a matchup on that right side against the Teuton player. All right, so game 3. Let's get this all set up. In the blue, we have Brizlin playing the Britons. In the green, her ally, Lyric playing the Mongols in the pocket. And on orange is Peon playing Sicilians, getting that castle up right away. And once that Sicilian castle goes up, that should prevent any raids from coming in. We see some nice outpost walls. In the pink, we have Backy Back playing the Lithuanians. In the cyan, we have Boomstick playing the Japanese. And in the green, we have Grinchy Noob playing the Slavs. So, of course, with the Slav bonus, you won't have to build a house right off the start, but he does anyway. But yeah, we see the raids coming in. We see, I don't think too many villager deaths happen, if any. This one villager might actually get picked off here. In the meantime, yeah, we're going to be seeing Sergeants come forward, maybe see some Donjons. I'm not too sure how Sicilians play in the team game, though. Sicilians, of course, being slower than the Teutons. So they're doing no stone walls. I don't even know if they can do palisade walls, but Peon has been doing outpost walls to protect his villagers. I thought there was some, like, 1000 IQ play, but I think it's mostly just a thing to deal with not being able to stonewall. So, not too sure, but I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure we'll ask him afterwards. He's the only one using the outposts, though. I think everyone else is either palisading. But Champion gonna come in here and try to raid, and so Slav Champion's gonna be the first unit out, and they're gonna be chewing up these paladins very heavily, these halberdiers very heavily. Losing a villager over here, Brizlin is not gonna like that. Back is sending some paladins across. It's amazing that they're 3v1ing Brizlin. All of the units are coming in. Back not attacking the Sicilian player. So the Sergeant's gonna come in here and try to force Back from sending any reinforcements. But all the units are going into Brizlin, trying to take out Civilized Briz right away. As a Britons player, yeah, I mean, Britons are not good at defending against this. Brizlins need to be on the offense. You need to massacre archers. So Brizlin definitely going to be struggling here, as we see some reinforcement camels coming in from Lyrics. But Brizlin definitely on the back foot here. Low on villagers. Brizlin's down to 2 villagers. Brizlin might just lose this off the villager count alone. Oh no! Britain's on flanking against Slavs. Yeah, this is absolutely decimate. This might just be the game. This might just be a free map win. I mean, Brizlin's pretty much dead. Has to evacuate. Has a villager evacuated, so Brizlin's villager can come over here and try to rebuild. But I mean, Brizlin's gonna be so far behind. Yeah, Slavs is gonna absolutely decimate the base of Brizlin, and that's gonna be a massive loss. We actually see Boomstick starting to tower up the middle as the Japanese is just gonna absolutely maintain control as much of the middle as they can. We see Sicilian having built a castle in the middle and some donjons, so they're gonna try to gain control of that middle as well. Brizlin might be dead at the moment, but if Team uniK can gain control of that middle and get Brislin rebooming in the middle, there is a chance that she can reboom there. But I mean, this is not looking good as they have lost base of Brislin. Brislin's gonna have to reboom in the back and get some TCs going to try to get that economy, and now uniK just has to hold off. But this is gonna allow Boomstick and the rest of TF to try to gain control of that middle. And unfortunately, the push on this left side isn't there. So Halberdiers, Sergeants, and Heavy Scorpions going to come in with some Siege Onager push. But I mean, that's a lot of Paladins. And I mean, Lithuanian Paladins, no relics quite yet. We'll probably want to see them try to grab a relic or two. But going to be pushing back with these Sergeants and Halberdiers. That's going to be pretty nice. Sergeant's going to be trading pretty well here. But I mean, those Paladins can just run around and, you know, Sicilian's not the most mobile units. Most mobile in composition. We see a Champions coming in actually from backy-back. So, yeah. This is very rough. And yeah, the entire base of Brislin has been wiped out. You might want to just get rid of these foundations and get some resources back. But yeah, uniK holding out for dear life. We see Brislin trying to reboom with one villager. I think Brislin's down to one villager. Brislin was able to save a single villager, and she is doing her best to build that TC, but it is slow going. Unfortunately, Brislin, or I don't think Britons even get treadmill crane, so they can't even rebuild that fast. Yeah, there's a reason Britons aren't a very good DM civ, and you see what happens when you match up one of the weaker civs against one of the best civs in the game for DM, and you can see that now Grinchy Noob is sending units forward as well, getting control of that middle. We have so many Japanese towers. This is, if Brislin wasn't on the opposite team, she'd be having a great time with this. That is a lot of Japanese towers, and that is going to be very hard to push into. We see the Rams coming forward and the Champions, and I mean, it's going to be hard to push into this. We see a lot of Cav Archers out for Lyrics, though. Or Megadive, sorry. So the Megadive are going to be able to do some very good cost-efficient trading if they can get some good trades. Some Ferrari Siege Onager is going to be landing some nice shots here as well. But Boomstick, with a lot of heavy Cav Archers himself, is going to be able to trade with these Megadive. Yeah, these Onagers can land some good shots, and I think they'll have a chance. But, I mean, the middle is going to be fully controlled by Team TF, and I mean, it's one thing if your opponent controls the middle as you control like corners, but I mean, we can see Lyrics trying to gain control of the side, but I mean, we see Slav Champions coming in for a raid, and they're going to wipe out a lot of units here. But if you don't have full control of all the corners and all the outside of the map, and you don't have control of the middle of the Golden Pit, you're not winning the game. So we're going to be seeing the Megadive's numbers start dwindling as the forces of TF start pushing forward in the middle. Mongols are only hope. Yeah, they need to keep those Megadive alive. But the Boyar is going to land onto these. It's totally worth it at this. Oh, that's a really bad shot. That was a really bad shot. You cannot afford to lose all that HP. Trading 3 Boyars for a single Megadive is worth it at this point. You can trade really inefficiently in TF's position, and they'll be fine. So we see now the base starting to be secured. Brislin's base starting to be secured by Grinchy Noob gaining control of that map. If they can gain control of half the map, and then, you know, I mean, they have, what, 3/4 of the map right now, and they have the middle. Like, this is definitely their spot to lose. They are winning this game significantly right now. Some very nice Onager shots. Going to wipe out a lot of units here, but I mean, that's a lot of Halberdiers, and they're happy to throw these Halberdiers and heavy Cav Archers away. Just at this point, they just have to keep Team uniK from setting up trade in this corner, which they're doing, and then keep them out of the middle. And they have access to all this gold. They're even setting up some trade on their own just to be safe, and they're going to be able to win the game. So this is definitely the game for Team TF to lose, even though uniK is up in score. Mainly just because Megadive are worth so many points. But the Rams coming forward, and I mean, the Rams are just going to get chewed alive by the Megadive, which is fine. I mean, you're just buying yourself time at this point. And yeah, all these Japanese towers, or JP towers, if you want to call them the short name. Yeah, these Trebs are going to start pushing into the Sicilian player, and I mean, there's really not much you can do about this as Sicilians with Cav Archers and so many Trebs. Especially Japanese Trebs, which can pick up and move in instants. So they're going to run in and micro with the Trebs and just wipe out these. If you hold till Briz comes back, yeah, that's true. But it's hard to. It's hard. It's going to be entirely dependent on these Megadive. We see a nice push in from back-to-back, flanking on here, taking out a lot of the siege, taking out these Trebs, and now, I mean, only Sicilian Halberdiers here. Megadive going to chase these guys away, but that's going to allow this Donjon to go down. Cav Archer's going to be focusing fire onto these siege Rams. The siege Rams are going to try to come into these Japanese Trebs. The Japanese Trebs could just pack up and move before the Rams can get there. Boyo's going to come in for some raids. We see some pushing on this right side. We see the Mangudai coming in here to try to clean this up. We see Grizzlin starting to get some Arbalests out. And they're going to be able to secure this right side of the base and maybe get some trade going as well. If they can get trade going, they're going to be, you know, in a much better spot. But Boyo raids coming in on the back of the base. And they're going to wipe out a lot of the fragile eco of Peon. So Mangudai going to come in here and snipe some units. But I mean, Mangudai should not be fighting anywhere near the Japanese towers. You cannot afford... You trade all these units for as many Mangudai as you can, and you're going to be fine. They're fighting underneath these towers, and if the towers were micro properly, yeah, now the towers are going to start firing on the Mangudai, and it's going to be all the Mangudai dead. Like, losing all these Mangudai might just be game. It was one thing if you had that massive squad of Mangudai, but losing all those Mangudai, it's that alone could just cause that to be the game. How many relics with Lithuanians? Only one, which I think is a mistake. He should probably try to get a few extras. But I mean, at this point, again, he doesn't need to win the game. He doesn't need to win the game with the Lithuanian Knights. He can just win off the back of having the gold and the Japanese Trebs. So unfortunately, they're going to be a little bit too aggressive here and lose a lot of Trebs here as the Onagers come in clutch for Peon. Going to be landing some nice shots on these Trebs and wipe out a lot of those Japanese Trebs. And Mangudai going to be still starting to mass up again. We see the established on the right side as the castle will go up and the markets start going up. And now we see some trades starting to be queued up for the Team TF. So if Team TF or Team uniK can hold on, they're going to be there. Yeah, if Britain's going to start getting some Arbalests out, they're going to start being able to generate some advantages here and there and just start getting some better trades. But one big problem we have, Slav push on this right side. That is a lot of Halberdiers, Champions, and Onagers, and Rams. A lot of Siege are going to be able to come in here. We see some Hussars coming out from Lyrics. This is going to be very dangerous for, this is going to be very hard to survive on this right side that is very undefended, as all the reinforcements are coming into the middle to try to fight in the middle. Will we wiped by Mongols? Yes, but the Mongols are needed elsewhere. You only have Britain Arbalest. You only have a small squad of Arbalests over there. The Mangudai are all fighting in the middle, trying to match. If they get pulled off to go stop that push on the left side, on the right side, then the middle fight is just going to be completely lost. Some good engagements here, though, from Peon. Just straight Halberdiers, but we see a massive push from Lithuanian Paladins and Lightus. And they're going to come in here and try to land a good starter step. Good avoiding that. We see attack ground. Oh, that's a lot of loss. So it was a good micro there, avoiding that one shot. But, I mean, they're just going to run in there and try to kill some economy. And, I mean, I think that's the right play, is you just kind of... You have control of the middle. You're going to win these fights. You're going to take out all these Trebs with, you know, your massive Treb advantage. Eventually, these shots will land. And, yeah, the Treb does go down on these Trebs. One Treb does go down. I mean, 1-for-1 Treb is not the worst trade. Halberdier is going to land onto these Siege Onagers. In the meantime, we see a lot of trade coming in for Peon. So we're going to be seeing a lot of gold. And, I mean, the Rams and the Siege Onagers are going to start coming in. The Mongols needed to make sure that the micro properly is. The Mangudai can do pretty well here. We see the Halberdiers as well, trying to protect against the Hussars. But needs to make sure to get some good micros. Some good split micro. The Mangudai do snipe out all of those Siege Onagers. So Mangudai are going to be able to clean this up. And we see the Rams going to try to take out this castle. But Mangudai should be here to clean this up. And that trade does get protected. So the push does stall out. And we'll have to be forced back. And so that will buy uniK some more time. Continuing to see the push in the middle on the left side as the base of Peon starting to be pressured in by the Japanese Trebs and by the Paladins and Lightus of back-to-back. And we are to see some villagers coming forward, start dropping towers and castles in the face of Peon, really just securing the area. If you can't push into the middle because you're too busy trying to push out of your own base, you're going to have problems. So more and more castles go up, and I mean, so long as the Trebs are focusing on taking on those towers and not focusing on trying to kill the units, I mean, I think that's a win. But Onagers going to be trying to get some good shots, and they're going to be just ignored by those Lightus as they go try to take out these Trebs. And so the units do survive for Peon, but Halberdier is going to come over here and try to clean up some of these Lightus. No, they're going to reposition and try to take out the Trebuchets. And yeah, it's going to be a very big push into Peon's base, and I don't know if they can survive this. We see another push on this right side, and the Mangudai is still being forced over here. I mean, yeah, this push might not secure too much, might not be doing too much, but that's a lot of army over here required to protect this. And if you're not migrating it properly, which it doesn't look like you might be, you're going to lose all these Mangudai to Hussar, or to Halberdiers and Onagers. So he lost all of his Mangudai here, and that's going to be no way to deal with these Siege Rams coming in. This might be the end very quickly. We see some defenses coming in. We see some Halberdiers come in from Brizzlin, as that's all he can really make. And yeah, I mean, the Rams started to just chew through all this stuff, and yeah, I think this is going to be this is now the trade is going to be taken out as the Rams take out these castles, and this base is we're losing eco back here. I think this is where, I mean, we see some Megadai and Hussars coming in here to try to clean this up, but it's a very nice raid, and the fort of the base, yeah, so uniK has to resign, unfortunately. So, winning off the back of that massive triple push against the Britain player, noticing the weakness. They noticed the weakness, which was Brislin being flanked with Britons, and they're just going to get absolutely triple team her and just wipe out all of her villagers and force her to rebuild, and that allowed the full map control from TF. They never really had too much of a struggle. I mean, look at all these Japanese towers. How many Japanese towers is that? 45 Japanese towers, and that's just in frame. So many Japanese towers. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to make sure this middle never gets pushed into. Yeah, the 3v run rush was brutal. It was really well done. You assume that Book would go Japanese and thought Britain would be a good idea. How apparently not. Or Boom would go, yeah. Yeah, when I know, like, the Slavs are, yeah. If you get triple rushed as Britons, you're just dead. There's really nothing you can really do about that. So we can take a look at the statistics, but there's really not too much. We can look at the military. Lyrics got a lot of kills. That was why their score was so high. I mean, Mongols, of course, are always going to have a very high score, but... Alright, so, I need to go blow my nose. I will be right back. Let me just update the scoreboard. So, Team TF tying it up. So, we're 2 apiece. And we're back to Arabia. Exciting. So, just waiting on the lobby code. I'm going to go blow my nose real quick. Meantime, put the tunes back on, and I will be right back. All right, we got the next lobby code. So game 5 is going to be on Arabia, and then we get into the fun matches. We get into the crazy maps. So I'm excited for those. I have no idea how those are going to play out. Budapest is a map with double TC start. It is indeed. There is only one other crazier map we can go into real quick. And that is, I believe, in special maps. There is... Is it special or... I would love to see some of these maps played. Like, there are some weird maps there. There's one other really crazy map. I could have sworn there was one with like 3, or is it a custom map? There's some map with 3 TC start. Budapest is regular? I mean, I suppose. Isn't there a 3 TC start? Oh no, it's on the custom. But I think that's like one of the pre-made customs. Metropolis. No, not Metropolis. Sherwood Heroes. Maybe that's something else. Is Megalopolis? Metropolis is 2 TC or something. There's some interesting ones, because I think these ES ones, or some of these maps are pre-made. Like, all these ones with images, I'm pretty sure those are pre-mades. Like, they come in with the game. But, yeah. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff here. I would love to... I might honestly, this has been really fun. Maybe I would totally be down to host like every other week or so, like once a month or something, some clan wars. Do something like that. Make it a series. something crazy like that. I'd be down to do that. Just make the game maps interesting and all that. All right, so we got the code. Let's take a look and see how the code is looking. I assume they're still working on getting the map all set up and figuring out what teams they want. Get a cough drop in. Okay, so we're still working, but the team uniK is going to be playing Lakes, Peon, and Lyrics. So some pretty heavy hitters. Peon has been, what, 4 of the 5 matches? Peon is Team uniK's ace in the hole for sure. Trying to carry everyone on his back. Not ranked games. I don't want to play a ranked game right now. We want to go to find custom game. Here we go. Spectate games. All right. We got the big jug of casting water. This is the casting jug. I will never go dry. Such a champ for casting this. I mean, it's been super fun. Games 3 and 4 weren't as exciting, but I mean, that's kind of just sometimes, you know, there's a bad matchup. But games 1 and 2, holy shit, those games were amazing. I love casting. If you ever want me to cast a series for you, Grizzlin, hit me up. I love casting. Maybe one day I'll be able to start casting start doing some paid gigs or something, be baby little T90, but I just enjoy casting. I love Age of Empires, but playing Age of Empires is always, I mean, I get salty. I get very salty. I'm not very good, and I want to get better, but I'm not good at it, and it's not the healthiest game for me to play. Let's put it that way. But casting it, I'm not the one losing. I get to have fun watching a great game, watching fantastic people play, and not worry about winning and losing. I can root for people, and that always matters because, you know, I'm a big sports fan. So the DMT90. Can't play good, but love to watch. Yeah, DMT90, dude, I'd love to. I'm not quite as charismatic. So here's the thing: is that like I need to also try to find a co-caster to do sometimes, because as much as I love casting, I'm a shoutcaster, so I have to be talking the entire time. And that, again, there's a reason that I'm chewing down cough drops and drinking a whole bunch of water. I need DM Dave, exactly. And the big thing is that, like, also, since I'm a very low elo player, I don't have all the insights I need. It's so tough on your voice, absolutely, yeah. So I need a co-cast to be able to hand off. Because if you watch somebody like Tastosis in StarCraft 2, one of them is like, they're bantering back and forth, but when action gets going, which unfortunately in DM is almost always, they'll take over and do their shoutcasting, but they aren't shoutcasting for an hour straight, which is where my voice just gets absolutely shredded. So let's take a look at that lobby now. We can see if that's up and running. It looks like it's still being loaded up, so still waiting on the next match. But yeah, it's rough on my voice, but I mean, I need to do some voice exercises. I need to go hit up some singer friends that I have who can help me with some voice exercises that can help, you know, strengthen the vocal cords. Keep taking a deep breath and once in a while. Yeah. Essentially, like I will keep talking, but I forcibly, like, if there's even a small break, I'll take a step back, take a breath as I grab my water, and realize that, like, I can't be talking the entire time. And that's one of the problems of having, that's one of the nice things about having a co-caster, is that when I need to take a break and, like, take a breath, then they can cover for it. Because I don't like having a lot of just blank time. I don't like empty time when you're solo casting. But yeah. So so the match is 2-2 right now. Who's everyone rooting for? I know there's a lot of uniK fans in the chat. I hope there's some TF fans in there as well. But I think we got 3 more games. It's gonna be, you know, best of 5 or best of 3 at this point. It's a very even. I thought after the first 2 games, uniK was just gonna run away with it. But I think once TF has started being a little more aggressive, not started now. Let me take a look. I did just check it. I don't think it's quite started yet. It's at least not letting me into the lobby yet. It still shows peon as random, meaning that it hasn't fully loaded yet. So we got a couple more seconds, I think. They're probably just finishing it up, making sure that everything's all set. And then we should be able to get going. Try that. Still random for peons, so it doesn't look like it's starting any... Oh, there we go. Okay. Pause that, and we switch over for Game 5 on Arabia. The match is 2v2, or the score is 2v2. All right. Game paused. Beautiful. Peon is paused right at the start. Unsure of what the problem is. We're caught up to live gameplay. Malay, yeah, interesting. So we can introduce our players. In the red, we have Deadly Yeti playing the Turks. In the blue, we have Lakes playing the Slavs. And in the green, oh wait, hold on. We're going the wrong way. In the red, we have Deadly Yeti. He took wrong civ. Okay, so I'm assuming we're doing a restart, right? Embarrassing. Well done. GG. Pause unpaused by Lakes. He meant to make Magyard. The memes write themselves. I'm gonna say, yeah, Malay are a pretty weak DM civ. Like, really weak civ. Like, they have a really good trash, but I mean, you don't really care about trash until much later. Like, 1v1, they're probably a little bit better just because you tend to get into trash wars a little bit more. But he picked random. Okay, because I saw random was loading up. I saw that. I was like, the lobby showed peon as random, and then yeah, and then it loaded in the game, and I was confused by that because usually random shows that the game hasn't started yet because it hasn't fully loaded. But so he was super unlucky. Yeah, unfortunate. Sucks to suck, right? Unfortunately, this does give out some information. Like, we can see Huns and Indians have been chosen for Team TF. That's a really good combination. Huns with their really good cav archers and early start. And then Indians with the Imperial camels, going to be very hard to deal with. And then Lyrics and Lakes choosing Slavs and Lithuanians. So Lithuanians going to get hard countered by the Indian player, but he just has to make sure not to take a fight against the Imperial camels. And then Slavs, of course, always one of the strongest civs, if you saw in that previous game. Alright, so we have the new game. Copy. Quick current game. What an exciting game. We can switch over to here. Best game so far, absolutely. Malians. Malians makes a little more sense. I think Malians makes a little more sense. Just a little bit. What tier are the Malians, anyways? Malians are tier 3, so they're not much better. But I mean, they do have slightly better, and they're not the Malay. Like, Malay are really bad. In DM. All right. Honestly, also, I know that it's supposed to be a 3v3 tournament, or a 3v3 show match. I almost want Team Islands to be a 4v4 just for them added, like, chaos. But so I think it's working. I only see a few of them, so we'll switch over. But yeah, so we're just waiting for the game to be remade properly this time, without the Malay being chosen. I was going to say, it doesn't sound like Brislin was aware of that strategy. Okay, there we go. Alright, so Slavs, Malians, and Lithuanians versus Indians, Huns, Turks. Turks, of course, going to be the heavy-duty siege unit composition with the nice bombard cannons. Do Indians get siege onager? I don't think Indians get siege onager, right? Slav siege onager is going to be very hard to deal with. The Slav siege ball is going to be very hard to deal with, I feel like. Huns are going to be pretty nice here. deal with Malians and Lithuanians. And the Indians going to be doing pretty well against dealing with Malians and Lithuanians as well. But the Slavs are kind of the wild card, and then the Turks, if they can micro the bombard cannons. But there's not a lot of heavy siege from the TF clan. So if the TF team has a situation where the siege is kind of necessary, then that's gonna be where it's decided. So we have a minute. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, and then we'll watch the match. So I'll be right back. So take a quick break. All right, just in time. Made it just in time. All right, so let's get started underway for game number 5. TF versus uniK. The score is all evened up, and Fog of War needs to be turned off. All right, in the blue, we have Lakes playing the Slavs. His pocket is going to be Lyrics playing the Lithuanians, and the other flank is going to be Peon playing the Malians. Already getting raided by one Hussar. Going to lose a villager here. So one villager does go down. That's going to be a very big loss early on for Peon. So Malin's already down one villager. His opponent is going to be in the red, Deadly Yeti playing the Turks. Getting a little bit of harassment from that Hussar as well. Doesn't look like he's lost any villagers, but it is a little bit annoying. His pocket is going to be Malhar playing the Indians with their nice Imperial camels. And then his flank is going to be Baki playing the Huns. One of the best, probably the best DM civ in the game. So you already see the Paladins coming forward to try to go raid the Slav player. But I mean, if you're going to be raided by a Huns player, I mean, I think Slavs are kind of one of the few you don't mind getting raided too much, as they are going to have plenty of Halberdiers out fast, and they're going to be able to protect themselves pretty well against that Paladin rush. One villager is going to be exposed. A little bit of quick wall tries to go in, but does lose one villager there. So nice little, nice raid, already paying off a little bit, picking off a villager here and there. So a couple villagers have gone down. Peon losing a few more villagers up on the top side. As you see Malhar send in more units as well. And we see the Lyrics sending his Paladins in to try to engage. But I mean, engaging against Imperial Camels is not a fight you want to be taking. But those Paladins starting to engage on the on the production of Deadly Yeti. So need to keep those villagers alive to get those defensive castles in. The camels are going to start engaging upon each other. And I mean, heavy camel riders versus heavy camel riders, but no Imperial camels, though they are coming in from the top side. So those heavy camels should be pretty good at cleaning these guys up. And there's a lot of camels starting to mass up. But they're going to trade off here. And Peon's going to lose all of his camels in the base. Maybe pick off a villager here and there. But Peon and Lakes both down to 8 villagers. So a little bit behind on the villager counts for Team uniK. In the meantime, we see some camels cleaning up some of these raids. And they're actually going to get onto the base of Peon. So we're going to lose a couple of villagers from that forward castle. And those camels are going to try to chase away these camels, and they do. But, I mean, they managed to slow down the castle, so it's definitely a win, picking off 2 villagers as well. You see some markets already being established by Team uniK. They love their early markets. And the Imperial Camels, of course, going to be swinging around and trying to find engagement where they can. But the Slav Death Ball has started massing up. I mean, Huns having a lot of Paladins against a lot of Slav Halberdiers is not where you want to be. Cav Archers starting to mass up, but those Cav Archers will be able to deal with that pretty well. But they did manage to land a siege on a shot on that villager building that castle, so that castle will get doubted for a little bit. In the meantime, those Andres do get picked off. Instead of landing a shot on those Cav Archers, which were exposed, which I think was a huge mistake, missed opportunity there. But big armies massing up here, and we actually see some camels coming in from behind trying to snipe some of the villagers being built. There's going to be a lot of exposed villagers, and this villager is going to be found out, as TF does like to, maybe not find that out, but they're going to check out for some of these villagers building from this area. Looks like they will go and check out that corner. So those camels could take out that villager building that market. We see back sending in some paladins into a raid as well. And on the left side, I mean, I don't think the fight's going very good for Peon. So Peon definitely going to have to try to win this fight as a 2v1 goes on. In the meantime, I'm not too sure where Lyrics is. Has some random units, a monk and a sneak monk. I don't know what Lyrics is doing. Sneak town center with a sneak monastery? I mean, get those Lithuanian relics all you want, I guess. But we're going to be seeing some raids coming in. They're going to try to get as many relics as they can. So all out on gaining control of those relics, trying to get 5 relics. But I mean, that monk is going to try to escort his way in. But I mean, Lakes is having a lot of difficulty here. Has only 12 villagers and has units all in his base. They're losing a lot of... Oh, this is a bad fight for Lakes. Paladin's going to get a lot of onager shots on them, but I mean, they've wiped out a lot of those halberdiers. Are going to be able to get onto these onto these siege onagers, and halberdiers, not enough of them to be able to support this. I mean, the castle, with a couple castles here, they will be able to clean it up. So not the worst fight ever. The Trebs do stay up, and they do take out that castle. So, you know, I'm a little bit wrong there. The fight was pretty solidly taken by Lakes. Lost some units there, and needs to remass up his halberdiers as soon as he can. But for the most part, looking decent. And this, try to steal some wood, try to get this castle up and with a relic, and that's going to allow his knights to be, or his paladins, very nice. We see some hussar raids coming in from Deadly Yeti as he keeps trying to prevent these trades from going up. And he's going to find out a lot of this. He could even take out that market, so very nice engagement. In the meantime, you know, the fight on this left side has kind of stalled out. A lot of dead bodies, not too sure what happened here, but I mean, there's not a lot of army left for Peon, and that is a lot of cav archers. A lot of heavy cav archers from the Turks player, so that is very dangerous for Peon to deal with, as he only has pikemen, which is not what you want to be doing against heavy cav archer. So we'll see how he does over here. We see some reinforcement paladins coming in from Lyrics, but I mean, those guys are switching over to the other side. The push from Lakes is going to be very heavy all in. There's a lot of camels coming in. They're going to engage onto these onagers. Onagers, I think, are too pumped up and too close to each other. And that's going to be a lot of dead units. Not a lot of halberdiers here to clean this up. And this Imperial Camel is going to be doing very good engagement here. This Onagers is going to start getting engaged upon by the halberdiers and those cav archers. Why is he sitting this one out while the halberdiers take the brunt of the fight? And the Hussar is going to come in here. That's a lot of dead siege onagers. I think you overextended there. Definitely an overextension. The paladins from Lyrics coming in to try to help out and provide some meat shields for these onagers as they start pressing in. But I mean, this is going to be a very nice push on this right side. Back to back, definitely in a little bit of a push here. So we'll see how it happens. But I mean, with some sneaks, like this sneak could change the game. This is huge. I don't know if we can actually go and take a look now that we aren't using capture agent. I don't need to worry about hotkeys. They have no idea about this. They don't know. Oh my god, they have no idea. They're gonna find out soon. That is insane. This is insane. Yeah, this could win the game on the spot. Surviving on the side. The fight isn't happening on this side, so I mean, all the cav archers have gone over to go help out with the Slav push. So no cav archers over here to help out with this push, and the one treb is going to start pressuring here with the pikemen. I mean, pikemen aren't great, but I mean, they're going to do fine against dealing with these hussars. I mean, the hussars could snipe this trebuchet, and they're going to. But I mean, I think he's fine with losing that trebuchet. In the meantime, big push on this red side, and Lyric's starting to go in and raid. And what do? They have an entire base in the back of your arm. You're oh my, like, this is brutal. Maybe get a treb out as well, but like this is just so many, like there's no trade to be set up, and so long as the Slav player continues holding strong here with the support from Peon, I think he's gonna be fine. There's no really action going on this left side. The treb is gonna slowly tick away at this castle. Cav archers and Janissary is gonna start coming up and gonna force pikemen back, because I mean, you really can't do anything about it. But skirmishers coming out as well still help a little bit too. And I mean, with some onagers here to just prevent any push from happening, I think they're gonna be fine. As the raids continue to come in, and they're going to just wipe out a lot of bases here. I try to get a tower up, but that's underneath the castle, so I don't think that's going to accomplish too much. It will slow down this push a little bit. But the raid's going to continue on, and like you make some trade cards, they're just going to get absolutely massacred here. Some Imperial Camels and Cav Archers coming in here, and they should do a pretty good job at cleaning this up. With some Rams coming in as well, but that's going to cause so many problems. And that's allowing the Slav player to push forward and really just wipe out Hun's base. Water time. Yeah, I mean, the Slav player has pretty much massed up his death ball of Halb Onager, and Lakes doesn't need to be anywhere else. We can fully focus on just this part, microing Halb Onager. If you can 100% focus on microing Halb Onager, you're going to be fine. Just need to make sure to reinforce. We see the camels coming in, trying to raid and trying to clean up some of these trebs, but I mean, these Onagers is going to wipe out more and more production buildings. In the meantime, that back base is starting to get cleaned up, but I mean, there's a lot of lit paladins back here, and those paladins have a lot of attack. +8 attack. How many relics do they have? Only 2 relics, so could get more, but I mean, +2 attack on those paladins, very dangerous. And the onagers continue to roll forward. The halberdiers, I would love to see some villagers come forward and build a bunch of forward barracks just to help reinforce those halberdiers. You like at this point, you need the halberdiers meat shield. Oh, what a nice shot! That was a huge shot. You need the halberdiers just meat shield for your onager. If you get this onager ball alive, you're winning the game. So a few forward barracks would be really nice here. And yeah, I mean they're holding this back base, and with that back base there, how are you ever going to establish trade? How are you going to push in? Bomber cannons are going to come on and they're going to start wiping out the space from the left side. But so many resources and attention have to be focused on trying to protect this area. And I mean, I love this. Just patrolling the paladins, not even fighting anything here. And that castle will go down, and the cav archers can come in here, and a castle coming up, and this base will slowly go down. But this has just allowed the Huns player to get absolutely demolished from Lake's play. Just one-shotting TCs, you don't really see that too often. And that's another base, more TCs down, that's the entire right side of the base completely demolished. And so by the, and even pushing on this left side, now Peon no longer needing support to push on the right side, is able to get his push going here, has a lot of trash units, has a lot of trebs, taking out this castle, protecting all that eco, they're preventing any raids from here. I mean, there is an extra siege workshop, there's a hole. Actually, no, the hole's protected, so, but now the production of Peon going to just be decimated. This base is starting, but like, all the army of Deadly Yeti is here cleaning this up. I mean, you have to dedicate yourself to cleaning that up, and just the entire base is going to be absolutely demolished from both sides. So uniK playing really lights out here. This is insane. Yeah, Lakes is a Slav king. I mean, if you can, the key thing is like not to discredit Lakes or anything, but if you can focus entirely on Halb Onager micro and not worry about having to boom too much or deal with raids or deal with supporting your allies, you're gonna have a great time. And so the fact that the play from Peon and Lyrics was able to allow Lakes to have all of his focus on microing his Halb Onager has just allowed him to take his death ball and just absolutely just generate so much value. You can even see he's floating a bunch of he's floating a good amount of resources still. He needs forward production buildings. He needs a forward castle. He needs to establish control here. That is the one thing he should be doing. But I mean, he's just killing so much here. You see the villager counts. Back-to-back's down to 10 villagers. I mean, he has no economy left. He's dead. Back-to-backs is pretty much dead. The paladin's coming in here to clean up any amount of trade. Like, I'm pretty sure TF is lost. They finally cleaned up this back base, and there's a lot of army for Deadly Yeti. But yeah, back-to-back taps out, and Team uniK is going to win game number 5 on Arabia through the back-breaking play of Lyrics, just very smartly. I mean, hopefully back-to-back isn't cheating right now and giving any information about anything, because that is an option. If you resign, you can view the entire map. I don't think he would, but I mean, usually you're resigning and you're already dead. So I think they're holding on just for, you know, trying to hold back, but I mean, the game's pretty much over. Full trade established. Slav player is getting his trade as well, but yeah, this side bait market's going down. Market is exposed, and I think Malhar and Deadly Yeti just trying to take the fight and try to, you know, do as much damage as they can and make their score as nice as possible before calling it. Getting some good engagements here, but yeah, it's 2v3ing when your opponent already has a huge Halb Onager death ball. Isn't gonna happen. So, Paladin's gonna clean this area up. You see this back area completely taken out. And I don't know why they're still playing on, but that's a lot of cav archers. I mean, you're never too dead. You have a lot of resources. We can actually check the resources real quick. Maldar has 11k wood and not a lot of gold. So, yeah, and there they go. Tapping out. Well done. Yeah, just that sneak TC relic control with some sneak barracks, huge. Also the fact that no one was able to help out. I don't think Huns match up too well against Slavs, so the fact that the Slav death ball was pretty much able to get there, especially when your two other allies are making cav archers and camels, there's really no like paladins or any good siege. I mean, actually, there's the problem is there's no siege onagers. There's no counter siege onagers for Team TF, and that just allowed the Slav death ball to run unabated. If there was one siege onager with those 30 siege onagers all clumped together, you could have gotten a 1 for like 30 trade there, and that could have paid off immensely. All right. So well done to Team uniK with a very unique strategy there. Just absolutely decimating the back ranks of Team TF and then allowing the Slav player just completely wreck the Huns player out of the game. So well done. So let's update the scores. Game 5 was a win by Team uniK. Scoreboard. uniK is up 2-3. All right, what a game! That was a hell of a game. That was a creative plan from Team uniK. I wonder if Peon and Lyrics are aware that was a plan, because I could just see them be like, Lyrics, why aren't you doing anything? And he's like, oh, by the way, I have a base in their back of their base. Yo, dog, I heard you like bases. Oh, I'm dripping water everywhere. All right, so game number 6 is going to be on Budapest. We have a multi-TC start, so the ecos are going to be very strong. I'm actually not too sure what Budapest actually even looks like. So let's go here real quick. I'm just going to take a quick look at what Budapest looks like, because I think I played on it once. The only time I've ever played Budapest, I accidentally queued up for team ranked match and wasn't aware of it, and Budapest was one of the options. So there's water as well. So fishing can be useful. I mean, it's not going to be battled water for the most part, but fishing is going to be there. Also, the fact that it does cut off trade, so trade won't be anywhere near as efficient, so it has to go around. Should be an interesting match. I would love to see some of the newer maps. I think I would love to see 3 standard maps and 4 unstandard maps. Like seeing some stuff like I don't know, Crater. I think Crater would be a sick DM map. Crater, Crossroads. Some of the newer maps would be super fun to see. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. Yeah, Crater, Crossroads would be really fun, I think. But yeah, we can look at Budapest real quick. So you get the 2 TC start. You have water on the edges, not on the corners like 4 lakes. So this means that the water will interrupt with trade, and I don't think there should be too much battle going on between. I don't think there should be too much water fights. Like there could be some fire ships going on here and there, but I think for the most part they're just going to eventually set up a some fishing economy and call it a day there. But Crater Lake is another interesting one. Yeah, there's some interesting maps. Volcanic Island. That one seems really weird. I think this would be a good one too. I mean, the problem is that all these maps have like centralized they have hideout wood, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't like when it's all wood in the middle like Atacama. Unless it's a lot of wood for everyone. Because immediate wood control is an issue. Alright, let's see. Still waiting on the code. So, I can almost guarantee that Brislin is going to play this. Because Brislin pushed hard for Budapest. She loves her Budapest maps. Which, I mean, double TC is a pretty fun start. I think you get 2 scouts too. Which means that double raids. Cumans might be a strong choice here. I could see Cumans being chosen here. If you get the double raids, you get the double TCs with the double production. You get a super early Cuman push. And really just get those step lancers in and just wipe out the base of an opponent. Let's take a look at the map. You haven't actually seen Cumans from anybody. I mean, I think the problem with that is that Cumans... I don't know, Cumans are top tier. So I haven't seen Cumans. I haven't seen Spanish either. I don't think Spanish are going to be an option here. But... yeah, like, we haven't seen Khmer. We haven't seen Spanish. We haven't seen Goths. So a couple top tier civs that I'm surprised we haven't seen. Definitely going to be interesting, but... so still waiting on Brislin to send me the code. But yeah, so game 5. Oh no, let's go and I just realized I should add something here. Give me a second. We're gonna do a quick little OBS thing. Text, add existing, scoreboard. I have so many random OBS widgets now. Just add that right there. Just add it right in the top side. You know, give a little bit of context as to what the score currently is. Boom. yeah, so I don't really know too much, but like what civs you could go for like Chinese and start with the 12 civs, 12 villager start and just really get all your production up immediately. I don't know. What do people think? Like, what civs would you go for Budapest with a 2 TC start? There's a lot of options here. For some of the civs where you need an eco to really get going. Like I don't think Huns are the right option here. Actually, Huns could be sick. Both players have used their Huns. Both teams have used their Huns. I'm pretty sure, but I think Huns could be sick where they have because since you don't need houses, you get double the production buildings out the gates. Let's see. Look at the tier 2s. There's a code from Brislan, so we're excited to see what this next one is. Copy. Yeah, I'm just looking through and I'm just like, I don't know if anyone, like, humans and Huns are the ones I kind of think about the most when humans, Huns, Slavs are like the ones that really benefit from a early double TC start, I feel like. Maybe with Chinese as well. They could benefit from that as well. So let's get in here. Shoot. Give me a second. Come on. Copy. There we go. Okay, so now we're waiting. Okay, so they're still setting up the lobby. So we got a little bit of time before we start off. But yeah, so I don't yeah, Budapest is gonna be an interesting one. I don't know too much what to think about Budapest. I just realized you guys can't hear the music when I'm on this scene. That's unfortunate. I had all that music playing for when I wasn't doing stuff. So audio, output capture. There we go. We can get a little bit of tunes while we wait. And then we can go over here. I spent a lot of time last night trying to set up these scenes, and had a lot of difficulty with it just because of various stupid reasons. But I managed to eventually get it to a point where I'm kind of happy with the scenes. But yeah, so we're waiting on the Budapest match. The lobby has been made. We're waiting. It's going to be Peon, Cyan, and Back-to-Back are the only ones I see so far. So not too sure of who's playing, but I mean, I can almost confirm that Brislan's going to play because this is her love child. This is her favorite map. So that's my guess. I could be wrong. I also haven't seen Steph play, which maybe they're saving Steph for the final match, or maybe Steph just doesn't want to play. I don't know if Steph's still in the chat, but Peon's going to go Aztecs? No, so Brislan's not playing. It's going to be Lyric, Cyan, and Peon. They want to win before Team Islands. Interesting. Okay. Shoot. Doing something real quick. Don't mind me. All right. So, of course, TF is up or down 2-3. So if they lose this one, they will have lost the grudge match. But we will be playing Game 7 regardless. So copy, bring you over, paste. So still waiting, but it looks like from Team uniK, it's going to be Aztecs, Koreans, and Huns. I'm surprised by the Aztecs pick. Koreans kind of make sense. Koreans, of course, very good defensive civ. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, Budapest is going to be fun. And I'm actually going to take this chance while we wait, while they finish up setting up the lobby to run to the restroom. So I will be back in 1 minute. So I'll be alright back. I was just running to the restroom, so. Copy. Brizzlin, I'm surprised you're not playing on Budapest since you love that map so much. I was expecting you to be on the squad. Alright. So game number 6 on Budapest with a 2 TC start. We have Peon, Cyan, and Lyrics versus Back-to-Back, Boomstick, and Grinchy Noob. We have Aztec matchup. After the 3v1, you opted out. Ah, that's fair. you had your fun, and then you got a little bit smacked around, and you're like, yeah, maybe some others should take the beatings. But all right, game number 6. TF needs to win this to stay alive, and it's going to be an interesting map with double TC start. So let's get this going right off the start. So in the blue is Peon playing the Aztecs. In the blue is Peon playing the Aztecs. In the green is Cyan playing the Koreans. In the green is Cyan playing the Koreans. And in the darker blue is Lyrics playing the Sicilians. And yeah, I'll stop with that joke. In the pink is Back-to-Back playing the Cumans. So we get to see the super fast Step Lancer raids. In yellow is going to be Sicilian player, Boomstick. And then in the red is going to be Grinchy Noob playing the Aztecs. So Eagle Raids are going to come in, and the Aztecs are matched up against each other. So they're going to try to get in and try to stop the cast. So one villager will go down. So nice raid from that Aztec player. But in the meantime, we see the Cuman Step Lancer starting to come in, and they're going to just start picking off villagers left and right. So one villager does go down, but the Paladins are going to be much better at cleaning up these Step Lancers than the normal Cuman defense. So they are going to pick off these villagers. That's a couple of villagers down for Lyrics. So Lyrics is down to 10 villagers, but I mean, with double TC start, you're going to have the ability to make extra villagers and really recover from that quite a bit. And we already see some raids coming in. We see Boomstick sending his sergeants forward, having built a castle in the middle. The villagers are going to be sending a lot of castles forward. And getting control of the map. The map is very small. Especially the double TC start. We see the Aztec Eagle Wars coming out on the side with some Halberdiers even being thrown into the mix. I don't like the Halberdiers since you're fighting against a fellow Aztec player. So I think that's kind of a mistake from Peon. But we see the Siege Onagers coming in, and those Siege Onagers probably get picked off by the Eagles. We're just seeing non-stop Eagle production from Grinchy Noob, which I think is the right play here. You don't want to be making trash and or Onagers into straight Eagles. So that Onager is going to get picked off without really accomplishing too much. And yeah, but champions are the right call. The champions make sense. But a lot of castles going up. In the meantime, we see a 2v1 on this right side as Lyrics gets pressured by the Sergeants and by the Cuman Raid. But the Cuman Raid hasn't been pushed back. Cuman Raid's not really doing too much. But the Paladins have been masked up by the Huns player with the not needing any houses, getting that double TC production with the extra stables. They're able to get so many stables out right away. Those Paladins are going to be able to get into the range of the eco of Back-to-Back. But with these Step Lancers, he's able to provide some extra damage support. They are going to be able to clean this up quite a bit. But those Paladins are onto the back end and picking out some villagers trying to build some TCs over there. In the meantime, we see the Sergeants continue to go forward with a couple castles. These castles are going to be able to control a lot of this wood line. There's a lot of choke points on this map. There's a lot of support. And map control is going to be very important to establish right at the start. And it looks like the Sicilian player has done that. So very nicely done. And this castle is doubted. No villagers currently building it. And yeah, this is crazy. What's up, green dude? Yeah, so Paladins, very good hold from Lyrics, being 2v1'd early on. Cyan's kind of not really providing too much support. I mean, he is providing some support, but really just kind of massing up his forces. Nothing too crazy, but it looks like Peon is losing the fight on this left side. The Eagles absolutely being coming in and decimating. We see Jaguar Warriors. Jaguar is going to be a very good option to clean up these Eagles from Green Noob. But Green Noob is going to be able to push on here as the castle build up. Has some siege hunters coming forward as well to start ranging the production buildings. And, I mean, yeah, I think these Eagles will be cleaned up as the champions start massing up for Peon. But what is the response from Green Noob going to be? Probably going to siege and some more Eagles, maybe some champions of his own. But they're right up close next to each other, and this fight is already happening. We actually see Peon taking a really nice castle on this hill that will actually range that gold. You already see a couple of villages having been taken out there. In the meantime, the Cumans are being pushed back by the massive amount of cav archers and paladins. But this castle already in the base in production of Lyrics' base. Getting got stone ground, picking off cav archers left and right. Trev's already coming out as well for Sicilian player Boomstick. Boomstick going to start ranging some of these production buildings, and I mean the Cumans are starting to push back here with the Paladins. Going to be able to push into the economy, and I mean there's no Paladins really remaining for Lyrics, and yeah, it's going to be a tough situation. We see Cyan starting to come in with this Korean siege as well, which will outrange a lot of these production buildings or a lot of these units. And the Ram's going to come in here and try to take out this castle. And if they can clean up these castles, they should be fine. As Peon has managed to push back on this side, the champion and Jaguar switch paying off dividends, but we see a massive amount of just pikemen. That seems like a mistake, but I mean a lot of random bodies just throw in front of those champions and just chew up a lot of damage. So I mean they cost nothing. But I mean now Peon has managed to survive that Eagle raid, is able to push back, and all the ally actions happening on this side. Lyrics is getting pushed back though, but that's a couple castles going down for the Sergeant player. So Sicilian's going to be losing a lot of those castles, and the Sergeant's still being able to control here. Cav Archer's starting to mass up for Lyrics, and he's going to be able to chase away these Paladins. But I mean, the Cumans are starting to do some pressure here and start taking out some of the base of Lyrics. Lyrics needs to get some support from Cyan. Cyan finally trying to come in here, but I mean, Halberdier's way out of position here, and they're going to allow these Paladins to hop onto some of these bombard cannons, hop onto some of these production buildings, or onto these villagers, and that's going to be a very good raid from those Paladins. And the Halberdiers finally switching over here to clean up these Paladins from back to back. But they managed to pay themselves off pretty well. They're sniping a lot of bombard cannons. In the meantime, we see a little bit of docks going up. We see some galleons coming in, just trying to do some ship damage, and they're going to do some ship damage. But these castles are continuing to come forward, so even though Lyrics held out that initial Humans push with his the 2v1ing from Boomstick, he's been able to push back, and Lyrics is now on the back foot. In the meantime, Peons has secured this side. He's starting to push in a little bit. We see the champions mixing with Halberdiers and Jaguar Warriors from Peon. But, I mean, with some yeah, this is just kind of a standstill. We actually see some raids come in from Eagles. So Eagles are going to come in here and try to get some raids in the random base. And, I mean, yeah, at this point, it's all about can they deal with these castles, which is just flooding Sergeants, Trebs, and more castles. But the Koreans are going to come in over here with these Paladins, Halberdiers, and Bomber cannons are going to be able to snipe one castle, maybe get a second one as well. But Siege Hunters coming in as well. For Cyan, he's going to be able to start getting some shots onto these Halberdiers and Sergeants of Boomstick. So going to clean this up pretty nicely. He loses a couple of bomber cannons, but still has a few more, so he can start ranging those castles. Those castles have done a lot of damage. A lot of production for Lyrics has been taken out. In the meantime, Peon's starting to make a little bit of a push, trying to send those Trebs forward, but the Trebs are exposed. There's no units here. Where are all of Peon's armies? Did Peon lose all of his army? It looks like he may have. Honor is definitely a good play here, and so that's a lot of army and siege lost for Peon. So Peon, they're gonna have to fall back here, and those champions are gonna start flooding forward. And there's not really any army for Peon to help support this. He has 54 army. Where's all of his army? Not too sure. I mean, he may have sent some of the champions over here to clean up some Eagle raids. But the Eagle raids are in the trade, and those Eagles are gonna be a little bit annoying, cleaning villagers here and there and killing up a lot of random villages. And the champions are going to get on the main goal of Peon as well. So the Trebs starting to come forward and take out production as well. We actually see a monk coming forward as well, going to try to see some redemptions and maybe try to steal some production buildings. So it's pretty hard to notice that in the heat of a deathmatch world. What happened to Lyric's base? Lyric got absolutely decimated by the 2v1 push, but they managed to stabilize, taking out this last castle, and that should allow him to establish some sort of control. Let me get some water. But we see a massive galleon push from Back, and that's just going to kind of eliminate that's going to cause some issues. I mean, there's really no way to deal with these galleons currently for the Hun player. And I mean, there's some castles up here, and maybe some heavy demos. But yeah, we see this fishing, some fish in the back are all getting cleaned up. The lake on the left side not being too important right now. But I mean, Peon's losing his base. He lost all of his army. Is finally making his champions. But I mean, Peon has 57 villagers and 13 military. Peon is definitely struggling here as the Aztec siege push with the champion and halberdiers backup or pike backup are going to start coming in here and start pressuring here heavily. And I mean, Cyan and Lyrics are forced to try to deal with the 2v1 on the right side, and Peon is just losing the left side pretty handily. The super aggressive play from Boomstick definitely I think, is winning the TF game. Just because that early push into the Hun's base with Kuman support was just so massive. A lot of Paladins coming in here to try to raid the rest of Lyrics' base. I mean, those galleons are going to fall underneath a couple castles, and those galleons are going to get wiped out. But I mean, they've done their job, they've caused some problems, maybe a waste, but I mean, for the most part, Lyrics' base is going to get even more decimated. And Peon is not faring much better, losing to a bunch of Trebs as well. This might just be the end of it. I mean, they're kind of being... The map is fully controlled by TF, establishing a lot of markets and going to start getting some trade going. They have that back lake. Could gain control of this left lake as well with all that extra fish. But really, I mean, the military just isn't there for the unique team. So Champion's going to be engaging here against Paladins. Not the best engagement, but some Hun Cav archers will help up here as well. Paladin's going to find all these Trebs, so we're going to be able to land on these Trebs and snipe a lot of these Trebs. And we see the actual pushback on this right side, so Lyrics is trying to save some of his base. Oh, I'm hiccups. Whew. Excuse me. So now we start seeing some pushback, and it may have been a very aggressive play from TF, trying to go all in maybe. But I mean, I think it's paying off. Like, it looked like they're pushing back on the right side, but the middle and the left is being lost. The Sergeant's going to be slowly moving forward, the Halberdiers as well, supporting Trebs with some castle support as well. Just dropping castles non-stop in the face with a Sicilian castle speed bonus. Sicilians building castles super fast. Are you able to get that castle up very quickly inside the base of your opponents and just continue to hopscotch forward? And then they're going to be dropping more and more sergeants coming out, and those raids are going to continue just trying to find a spot to drop another castle with those villagers. What a play by TF with the Sicilians. Very creative. Oh my god, is he going to come and drop a castle? Oh, he's going to come and drop a castle right on that goal. That could range. I don't know if that'll range the fish, but I mean, the left side of the base is completely decimated. Peon is pretty much out of this game, has his fish economy, so he's not out of it entirely, but he's going to fall back onto this right side corner. And well, the Lyric and Cyan were able to push back on this side. I mean, more than 3/4 of the map belongs to TF. So cleaning up these docks, this castle goes up, further restricting all the mobility. I mean, there's just a ring of castles on this left side. So I mean, some Korean rain onagers and Trebs are going to try to do their best at cleaning up this castle and protect against this area, maybe clean up some of these Trebs and sacrifice an onager or two to take out this castle. Probably worth it. Pretty expensive to do it, but I mean, they're going to be able to take out these Trebs and stop that the siege push. But in the meantime, the Kuman Paladins are just going to continue to harass Lyric's base, and they're just going to keep taking out villagers left and right. And yeah, it's going to be a tap out. So well done by TF with a very aggressive all-in strategy early on with the Kumans, with their super early step lancers, forcing some reactions from the right side. The Sicilians immediately sending like 10 villagers forward, which you can't usually do in DM because you don't have enough villagers, but sending all these villagers forward to build castles on this early middle hill, and just really make it so it's hard to push out of the base. And Lyrics losing all of his base to the Kumans and Sicilians combined push. Peon winning an early fight, but not able to mass up an army big enough, and then losing a lot of them to the counterattack by Grinchadoob, just completely falling apart after that. Well done by Team TF, winning Game 3 on a crazy, crazy map. That was... You hit late game DM there in like 10 seconds. That is a crazy... That is a credible map. I have changed my view. That map is fun. That map is fun. What base? Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing there. Look at all this remaining gold. Boomstick got 500 kills. Just because it's all the castles. That's insane. Alright, so we're on to game number 7. We are approaching the end of our journey. And as everyone hoped, the match, it is a perfect 3-3. This is for all the marbles. But it is TF's home map. It is going to be Team Islands in DM, which is insane. I almost wish it was enemy. Oh my god, enemy islands? Could you imagine how stupid that would be? Like, enemy islands would be so stupid, right? Like, no one would like enemy islands. I think that's it. I immediately regret saying something like that. Whereas islands, isn't there an enemy islands? Or is that a custom map? If someone doesn't choose Portuguese, I'm gonna ride. Well, so here's the thing. We can take a look at this in a second, but we're gonna be playing Team Islands, so I'm excited for that. Team Islands is going to be fun. So let me here's a tier list. So the way it works is you can pick one from each tier, or you can pick if you don't pick a tier 1, you can pick an additional tier 2 or tier 3. So what's going to happen is Vikings and Portuguese are down here. So we're going to be seeing Portuguese, yeah, but Winter's War tier, yeah. So we're going to be seeing Vikings, Portuguese, and then probably Koreans have been picked by both players. Maybe Liths. Lithuanians have been picked by both players. And then some random second civ, or tier 2. So it's going to be Vikings, Portuguese. Italians have been picked by TF. So Italians are there on the table for Team uniK if they want. But I mean, it's Vikings and Portuguese. Why would you not choose both of those? Berbers and Saracens aren't too bad on water maps either. Berbers and Saracens, I mean, yeah, that's fair. And those are that's a tier 1. So Saracens are tier 1. So yeah. So I mean, could see that. I mean, I think both teams are going to be, and this is my opinion, I think Team Islands would be a much more interesting game if all Team Islands banned Vikings, Portuguese, who else am I thinking of? Italians and Koreans. Like, yes, those guys are all, like, maybe not Koreans, but like the big 4 water map, like Team Islands is literally just a game between those 4 civs, right? Like, it's not exciting anymore. We all know how it goes roughly. I think banning Italians so good. I think Italians are a good map, right? Like, I could be wrong here. Cheaper ships, we can go to Italians. Naval, dock and university technologies cost less. Fishing ships cost less. Gunpowder units cost less. They have a full navy, so we can go to the tech tree. We double check that I'm not missing the game. Looks like we have the match or the lobby code. So let me double check that we're not missing anything. But yeah, Italians, like, I think Italians are better, like, for RM because they work better on the way up. But, I mean, they're missing heavy demos. And trade units cost less. But yeah, so Italians aren't, like, top tier. They're no Vikings or Portuguese, but like, how many times have you watched some of the hidden cups or anything like that? Like, Team Islands is always Vikings, Portuguese. I just think it's boring. I think some variety there where you force players to pick non-water civs would be more interesting. Like, the hidden cup, or maybe, I forget, it wasn't hidden cup. It was, I forget where it was, but Hera accidentally picked Vietnamese for water map, and he was forced to improvise. And I think that was really way cooler because he went all in on like a feudal age drop or something, and it almost worked. He almost got it, but it didn't. So, let's see. All right, so yeah, I mean, Portuguese, we see Chinese coming out. Interesting. Okay. I should probably not show that too much, just because in case somebody's still in the chat. But I'm going to take this break real quick and go run to the restroom because I've been chugging so much water that I have the bladder the size of a peanut now. So, look, I just need to make sure my throat doesn't die. So, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be back in a minute or so, and we'll get ready for game number 7. All right, we are back. Now, how are we doing on the match? I believe the match probably has started, but we'll see. Spanish are another really good civ, I guess. All right, game number 7 for all the marbles, for all the bragging rights. It is going to be Team Islands. TF versus uniK. Peon, Brizzlin, and Lyrics versus Grinchinu, Boomstick, and Deadly Yeti. All right. I'm sorry. What? This should be an admin re. There's no admin, but this should be a re. There's a land bridge. This is not what? This is crazy. Scout rush hype, yeah. They could. I don't know if they'll notice. Land bridge is insane. So, yeah, let's go over the players we have. In the left side of blue is Brizzlin playing the Portuguese, so gonna get those Vitorios for the late game. And the Caravels. We have Lyrics playing the Spanish in the red, so plenty of trade cards. With a bonus trade, and Spanish, of course, with very good gunpowder. And then the green is going to be Berber, so not picking the Vikings. Very interesting. Their opponents in the yellow is Boomstick playing the Vikings. In the teal is going to be Grinchinu playing the Chinese. And in pink is going to be the Spanish Deadly Yeti. Yeah, right away noticing this land bridge, and we're gonna see Paladins. Yeah, they're pausing. Yeah, land bridge, no good. Yeah, that's a re. That's a re. That has to be a re. That has to be a re. The land bridge just completely ruins the whole point of the game. Which I think is unfortunate, but like, you can't have that. Yeah, you can't have that. I assume it's a re. Especially because, yeah, Paladins coming through. Deadly Yeti knows this first, so he's going to have that castle through, and it's just going to be like, you could already see the scout over there. Now, the question is going to be, do people go for drops? Like, when do you start doing some ground army drops? And when do you start doing transports, or do you try to win all of the land control? We already see elite candy gallons coming out for the Spanish players. So I'm excited. Oh, they're gonna keep playing. No re. Okay, I don't agree with that. I think that's a mistake. But they're gonna play with the land bridge. I think that's a huge mistake. So this left side is gonna get wiped out by the Spanish elite candy galleons. In the meantime, this Caravel's going to match up very good against the galleons. We're not seeing elite candy galleons come out from Lyric. He's going for regular galleons. And so we're just going to be seeing some galleon wars here. And it's going to allow the left side of the ocean to be controlled by Deadly Yeti. Because you can't... Oh, no, you can walk through. You can float through. Okay, so the oceans are connected. I thought that was going to separate them. But, yeah, I mean, now the Paladins are in here. I think this is just going to be... Is this a bug map? It's a bug... I mean, yeah, you're not supposed to have a land map in Team Islands. I think this is a re. If I was officially hosting this, I'm not hosting this, but I want to start hosting clan matches, I would admin re this in a heartbeat. This is funny and all, but like, Brislin's already dead. Like, the game's over. This should be a re. But they are tapping out. We see the Spanish player winning the fight on the middle. Grinchinu being pushed back. The Galleons now massing up, but we have the Viking longboats starting to mass up, and no Vikings from Peon. So because they did not choose the Vikings, they are going to have an interesting... Wait, they chose Vikings earlier in the game, didn't they? So we're going to be seeing the demo ships, as the Berbers do get pretty good demo ships. They're going to land onto those longboats, and need to make sure to keep those longboat numbers down, because if the longboats aren't massing up, it's going to be a serious problem. But I mean... The entire left side of the ocean is now just completely controlled by Deadly Yeti. He's going to be able to send these elite cannon galleons around, and they're going to be able to start chipping away at the back markets, back production. And, I mean, yeah. Brisbane now has to fight a war on the land, which, as a Portuguese, you're not supposed to be doing that. And that castle going up, I think this should have been a re. So, yeah, Brisbane going to be sitting at 10 villagers. Not where you want to be. And, like, it's one thing, like, there's no way for them to counter push on land because they have access to just flooding all these paladins through. So, I'm disappointed. Galleon's going to start engaging here. I mean, the longboat should help a lot at cleaning this up. You should be seeing some demos coming in. Yeah, some heavy demos trying to hit those reinforcements from ever going in. The demos, of course, not going to be able to hit their target underneath range of multiple castles. Maybe if there was a transport ship or two, they could transport over some military, but I mean, like, you don't want to do that, and like, yeah, the cannon gallons, I mean, the game's pretty much over at this point. Lyrics does have his own paladins trying to clean this up, though, so, I mean, paladins are going to come here, but a lot of Spanish cannon galleons. Bristlin holding on for dear life. We see the elite caravels starting to come out for Bristlin. So she can start massing up those caravels. It's going to be very nice, because she could actually get some very nice shots onto these guys, but you have to deal with this castle that's just dealing with everything. Paladin's going to engage on these cannon galleons. That's going to chase these cannon galleons away. We can actually see a TC coming up as well, and we can even see some walls come in. But I mean, they're just going to choke points underneath the castle with some castle cannon galleons firing in, and there's nothing that the Paladins can do about that. Paladins just run in and just wipe out the base. You should not be trying to fight underneath the castle. You should be fighting and trying to get all the exposed eco. But in the meantime, the longboats have won the water fight on this right side. Nothing really that they can do. Mass Viking longboats are just so strong. And keeping Bristlin off water with their elite caravels not being useful means that they can't trade efficiently against the Viking longboats. So we see Grinchy Noob starting to mass up with his Chinese galleons. And those galleons are going to be doing good engagements, even getting some heavy demos to land onto these caravels. Oh, that's really bad. That's some very expensive caravels being lost. So that's going to be all of Brislin's army down as well. And yeah, demo's going to be a very good engagement from here, cleaning up a lot of these very expensive elite cannon galleons. So cleaning up that back army from Peon cleaning up that back army means that the back of the ocean is now free. It's sad to finish like this. It is. I'm a little bit disappointed in this. I was expecting a much better. Like, sure, they both had access to it, but really, it's like, I think it's whoever notices it first. It's not supposed to be there. It's just not how Team Island is supposed to be played. Yeah, and so now the elite Spanish cannon galleons just massed up. And the galleon numbers from the Chinese player now massing up with the... Yeah, look at these longboats. You're not beating this. Peon's trying to remass his army back here, but I mean, you need elite you need mass caravels to deal with that, and you don't have any ocean control. Granted, this is the problem with Team Islands, is that if one team gains control of the ocean this fast, then you know they win very easily. But you need elite caravels to clean this up. Bristlin should send units over and do a backdock, so she's going to start backdocking, and she needs to start getting some elite caravels going, because elite caravels are the only thing that can counter mass longboats, since the longboats clump up very heavily. But elite cannon galleon is going to come in here, and they're going to start taking out docks. Peon getting some good micro in here and trying to engage on these longboats. The longboats just going to win the trade non-stop. We see Chinese heavy demos coming in very fast, and they're going to try to engage here. We see some heavy demos actually from Peon trying to get in there. And he's gonna land not a terrible one. Needs to get some very hero demos, but I mean the demos from Grinchy Noob are gonna come in here. They're gonna just wipe out a lot of those gowns. That was a huge demo shot. That's a lot of demos down. Cannon gowns continue to pressure hard. Brislin's starting to remass here and starting to get her caravels going. So if she can get her caravels going, they have a chance. But they're gonna be pushed off the front of the base. But this is not looking good. Yeah, Longboat's cleaning up the army of Peon. Peon just taking the fight that he can. And we even see trade starting to be established, and Peon resigns. So, GG's from TF and uniK. But unfortunately, the land bridge is a little bit rough, but it was a very well done by TF, winning the Water Wars. Team Island is not Team Island. Bugged match, yeah. GG, sorry. I mean, so Brislin, did you guys talk about doing an admin or like a match because the land bridge just threw everything off. Yeah, I thought I would say I'd vote but because that's a bug map. Like that's absolutely a bug map. But TF manages to pull it out. So yeah, the Vikings having access to Viking longbows just meant that if they ever get masked up, it's hard. And the biggest problem was that Brislin was over at the land bridge, because if Brislin was in Peon's location, Brislin would have been able to get her elite caravels out. And if you can get the elite caravels will beat longboats in the long run. So unfortunately, Brislin got hit hard again. And because of that, that meant that she was never able to mass her caravels, and then the longboats pretty much were able to just mass up uncontested. So very good show match. Very good match. TF does manage to take it in the end. So we can unlock and go to intermission, update this, left score, win.